See, it's not the money that's the problem, Robert. It's the time.
Then, pay someone to make you food.
Okay. Who? Like Domino's? Papa John's? Do I pay him money to make me food?
You know how they have all those services like HelloFresh or whatever? I bet you
You still have to cook HelloFresh.
Okay, well, there's the one where you don't have to. There's one where you just throw that shit in the microwave, and it's not full of preservatives because they ship it to you to eat that week, and then you gotta heat it up.
Called Factor 5 or whatever. And yeah, I'm not eating that shit, bro. It's like $10 for a microwave fucking meal, bro. I ain't doing that.
Well, it's not a microwave meal, it's real food.
But you warm it up in the microwave.
All right, look, all I'm saying
it literally comes in a TV dinner tray with the shrink wrap on top, and you can either bake it or you can microwave it.
Okay, if you do the math, it comes out to less than $4.99 per meal. And in this time, when you have no time to get your food ready, then you can just get home from work, toss it in the microwave, and before you go take a shit, your food's ready.
Or I can just eat a bag of popcorn for dinner, which is only about 150 calories per bag and also was ready in about 2 minutes.
And if you use the code...
And additionally, it only cost me 89 cents.
Backlog Boat.
Shut the fuck up.
Welcome to the 8th episode of The Backlog Boat. As always, I'm your captain, Roberto Gonzalez. To my left, we have the navigator.
Hi.
And also to my left, we have the doctor.
Hello.
And that would be Jacob Burt and Stephanie Aguilar, since we don't say our names anymore.
Stop fucking doxing us, dude.
It's not doxing. Everyone knows our names.
Bro, we're going to get swatted.
We are going to get swatted.
We need to fucking keep this unmitigated growth of our channel in check.
I also want to let you guys know, every time we sit down to record, and you'll notice that right before we start, I'll be like, give me a second. It's because I will replay one of our videos and listen to the beginning so that I get it just right and do the intro right and not fuck it up. And I'm always a little nervous that I'm going to fuck up that beginning. And it takes all of 2 seconds for that to go away, because every time I say, here's our navigator, you manage to say something, Jake, that makes me go like, all right, cool. Of course.
Yeah, but logistically, if I didn't fuck up the intro, then it would be out of routine.
I guess that would be a case to be made.
So to be fair, this is business as usual.
I'm not gonna. All right. So it has been October. It's still not Halloween as of yet, but it has been the spooky month. Y'all do anything spooky?
No, not really. All right, roll the outro.
All right. Well, I ended up going.
I'm just kidding. We did a whole gaggle of things, ladies and gentlemen. We played. I don't know. What did we do last Friday?
I don't know. Stephanie was about to say something before you rudely interrupted.
That's fair.
I'm just happy to be here. Anyway, so yeah, we went to a party that Robert put on. Maybe Robert should also kind of talk about that.
Party. There was a small get together. It wasn't meant to be a small get together, but I guess I just I should have sent out invites.
If I was there and I drank too much, it was a party. But
party.
So it was indeed a fucking party.
Yeah, we got together, watched some movies, played some games, ate some spooky food that took way too long to make. Shout out to Jake's sister. She made amazing hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, she made little spooky deviled eggs and shit. And little spooky jalapeno poppers.
Those are pretty fire.
I don't know, bro. I really just fucked up that entire plate of cookies. That's really what just happened. There was cookies and beer in my veins that whole weekend. That was about it.
So what Jake's not telling you, Stephanie, is after you left, I think it was the day after, we had all gone to bed. And I don't remember this. I don't recall. I was too far gone. But apparently Jake shouted, "Robert, where's the Mac?" And Brienne had put it in the other fridge. And so I walk out with my freaking mask on and everything still. And Jake finally gets his Mac. But then he fell asleep while eating it. So he woke up to Mac all over the couch and the blanket and himself.
And the carpet. It was bad, dude. Because I was like...
Wait, are you...
What was that?
No, wait, was it the pasta or wait, was there mac?
No. So his mom made some like homemade macaroni and cheese because she's just a sweet woman. And then we were like munching down on that Saturday night. And then everybody was hammered and decided to go to bed. And I was like, you know what? I'm not tired. And I was like, fuck it. Where's that mac? And then I look on the countertop. There's no mac and cheese. I look in the fridge. There's no mac and cheese. And I was like, you sons of bitches. It was like fucking 10 pounds of macaroni and cheese. Where the fuck did the macaroni and cheese go? And that's about where I blacked out.
Damn, I wish I had macaroni and cheese, but also too, sounds like definitely a good time.
Bro, that macaroni, like literally, I just kept finding pieces of macaroni throughout the next day. Like it was all over the fucking place. And like Robert's dad came out before I woke up to go do something. So he just saw me passed out on his expensive ass couch with macaroni all over his expensive ass couch and expensive ass carpet, passed out. And I was like, I am indeed a charitable and good guest.
I could see it. I could see it.
Apparently, he didn't get much sleep that night either.
No shit, bud.
He's like,
we stayed up playing Rock Band.
See, I don't recall that, but he was like, I think someone was trying to see.
You, motherfucker.
Well,
you're singing All American Rejects, bro.
Oh, I did sing Swing Swing. Forgot about that. Good times, good times. We got to play some Overcooked. Stephanie finally saw what a crazy kitchen with 4 people looks like.
What a fucking unit we are.
It was pretty fun.
And my sister was pissing me off. Because, like, she's like, just chop, you stupid fucking bitch. And I was like, I need the onions. Stop handing me goddamn tomatoes.
She needed tomatoes.
I mean, I had fun. I had fun playing that little Pictionary game. That was cool.
Oh, what's that one called?
Illustrations.
And Robert just really likes throwing.
Okay, I didn't know how the game worked.
Yes, you did. Fuck you. This game is basically just Pictionary, but like you pass it around and then people have to like interpret the drawing as another word and then write that word down, and the next person interprets that word and then draws that word, and then it goes until the last person gets it and then has to answer whatever the fuck they think the picture is. And I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like the word was stir fry. So Stephanie draws a beautiful picture of stir fry on a skillet or whatever. And then Robert looks at it.
There was a man as well, a chef.
Robert looks at it and just decides to write down, "It be like that sometimes."
That's not what I said.
I don't even remember. I remember
let him cook.
It was like that's the cards only have fucking one word on them. Like it's not a phrase. And I was like, okay, so Robert just fucked me out of these points. Like there's absolutely no way this fucking game has let it cook on a fucking card.
Let him cook.
Whatever.
And we weren't even playing with points.
I was. Fuck you.
It was a wonderful time. Thank you for bringing that over.
Yeah, and we played that wizard game that got me too lit.
That was... You guys did that to yourselves.
Not enough mana. Well, see, because here's what I've learned is if you're willing to just destroy yourself, you can guarantee a win. Like, you can just keep rotating out cards until you get the thing you need, as long as you're willing to destroy yourself. So, Stephanie, my sister brought over a game called Not Enough Mana. And the way that game works is it's a little battle game where you and your friends draw from this deck of cards, and the cards can attack other players or defend yourself or, like, give you little buffs or abilities or whatever. But really, you're just trying to knock everybody else out and knock their health points down to 0. And at the start of the game, you get 3 pips of mana, and each card has a mana cost associated with it. So if I want to throw a fireball, that might be 2 mana, and then if I want to cast this little shield on myself to protect myself from 1 damage, that might be like 1 mana. But the way you get mana in this game is you get 3 pips of mana per shot.
Jesus.
And you can do this infinitely. Additionally, you can trade, if you don't like the cards in your hand, you can trade in the first card back in the deck and draw another one for 1 mana. The second card you do on the same turn, 2 mana. Third card, 3 mana, and so on and so forth. So it got to the point where, like, my sister and Robert are out, and then our friend Kai came over, and it's just me and him staring each other down. And the game is really close. And I'm looking at my cards, and I'm like, I have dog shit in my hand. I know what I need to do. I just don't know how I have the strength to do it. And then, like, 5 shots later, I won the game, and then regretted everything about my life choices.
In Jake's mind, it was 5 shots.
How many was it?
That was not 5 shots.
Was it less?
I took like 5 shots. Brienne took like 5 shots. And then we were out of the game. And then you and Kai kept playing for like 20 minutes.
Bro, I was hard of the cards, bro. I felt like Yukimoto in that moment. I was ascending. I was about to shit his ass to the fucking Shadow Realm, bro.
You were definitely feeling it.
I was about to be, hand me that bottle of soju, bro. I'm about to summon Dark Magician.
Bro.
It's a game you play once for the whole weekend.
Yeah. Like, you either start a night with that, or you end the night with that and plan on doing nothing else after that.
I would not end the night with that.
Yeah, no, like maybe
Terrible
start.
idea.
I'm glad we were drinking soju, bro, which is only like 15%. If we were doing like real liquor, bro,
Oh yeah, you would have been dead.
I would have died. Like real life, over.
You wouldn't have made it to the Mac, bro.
No, I would be like, "Where's the mat?" and then passed out on the floor, bro. So, Stephanie, did Robert tell you about his adventures in Chicago?
In Chicago? What?
Oh no.
We went to Chicago, or should I say, I brought a little bit of Chicago to us.
Okay.
Carried away, Rob.
I don't know if we mentioned it during the last episode, how we drank Campari, which was the worst liquor I've ever had, the core. To the point where we were taking punishment shots of Campari the last time we were together. Brienne and Jake mentioned, I think it's pronounced Malort. I don't fucking remember.
Malort.
Malort. And they said that that was the worst thing they ever had. So Jake spent $40 fucking on a bottle
The most expensive bottle I've ever purchased in my life.
so that we could all take a shot of it. And this stuff is bad. It's bad. I don't think it's as bad as they made it out to be, but it's easy to shoot. You don't feel a burn. It just takes over your taste buds for the next 2 hours. Don't drink Malort.
If it's not that bad, you can finish that bottle, bud.
That you gave it to Kai as a gift.
I don't recall doing that.
So
Like Robert was blasted on Friday night, and then he takes a shot of the Malort, and he's like, it's not that bad. Y'all are pussies. Like, it's just fine. It's pretty easy. And then the next morning...
I wasn't blasted.
Whatever. He was jonesing. The next morning, I was like, hey, Robbie, remember how you said you take a shot of it in the morning to get your day started off right? To prove that, like, yeah, we're just being pussies, and it doesn't actually taste that bad?
And I said, no, it does taste bad. I just don't think it's that bad. And also, I'm not taking a shot of this at fucking 10 in the morning.
So he took a shot of it at 10:30.
At noon.
Whatever. How was it the second time, bud?
I mean, it's still bad, but like, it's not like it wasn't the most offensive thing.
I don't know. I think you're full of shit. Like, I think Malort is the most offensively bad tasting thing I've ever put in my mouth. And like, I've done some shit for bits. I have made some rancid food combinations. I have eaten fast food that has sat on the counter for like fucking 2 days, bro. Like,
You're gonna die.
probably not making it to 30. Enjoy the 4 more years episodes. That's all we got. But like, Malort is literally the worst tasting thing I've ever fucking had. Like, it tastes like a urinal cake covered in candle wax. Like, whatever taste in your mouth you get from smelling that, that's what it is. And it gets stronger over time. Like, the problem is you take the shot and it's kind of gross, but it's tolerable. And then the taste in your mouth just grows until like you can't taste anything else. If you try to chase it with something, it'll immediately turn that into fucking Malort as well. And if you try to eat any food, it'll only taste like Malort. It is fucking awful. Bro, when my sister and I took a shot of Malort in Seattle, the like Google review was like, yeah, it's gasoline with a hint of fucking body sweat. And I was like, you know what, that's fair.
1 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'd put it.
I mean, the Malort was probably the scariest thing we did that weekend. Did any of you do anything scary this month that you'd like to talk about?
Just listen to you sing All American Rejects, bud. That's about it.
I was about to be like, well, I guess I quit my job. So
Fun.
that's a big thing,
Congratulations.
right? It's been interesting. I guess I don't know, Jake. Me and Robert were talking about this, but like, what was it like when you put in your letter of resignation, or did you need to put in a letter of resignation at your last job?
He got fired.
No, they fucking fired me.
Wait, what?
It was an
Yeah.
Oh, this is
internship
terrible.
for a
Never mind.
year, and they didn't want to keep me on, even though I really liked the job, and I thought the people really liked me. And I was like, he's like, yeah, so we don't have it in the budget, bro. Sorry, which I'm pretty sure is code for get the fuck out of here.
Wait, does that actually mean that they fired you, or does that mean that again they just didn't have money in the budget to actually hire you on?
I don't fucking know. Maybe both. Either way, I really like that job. But it's cool. I have a job I hate now that pays me a lot of money. It's fine.
So he did not have to put in a letter of resignation.
So
to
I did
answer
not
your
have to do
question.
Wait a minute, have you both? Well, no, Robert, you put in a letter. Wait, did you? Or no, you
Okay,
did it verbally, right?
So I've had a thing called poor people jobs. So no, I do not need to type up a letter of resignation. Yada yada. I'm talking. I've quit with post-it notes, with like half a receipt.
Yeah, Stephanie, I'm not gonna lie. The last job I had for 8 years working as a grocery store clerk, and I literally ripped a piece of computer paper out of the printer and then grabbed a pencil and then wrote 2-week notice and then put signed to Jake, and then put it on my boss's desk.
What?
Fun fact: they gotta send whatever you give them to corporate.
Well, he's like, I have to send that to corporate, right? And I was like, I don't care. And he's like, all right, fair enough.
This is wild. Well, all right then.
How do the more civilized people do it?
Yeah, how do you do it when you're not bouncing from minimum wage job to minimum wage job to internship?
Well, let me tell you. I don't know. Robert ended up seeing like what I had drafted up, and then we ended up changing it a little bit. But basically, like, it's just kind of wild. And also, too, it was received really well, which is also a good thing. The last time I put in a letter of resignation, it wasn't the best. And then the time before that wasn't the best either. So it was kind of nice.
Well, happy for you, I guess. You got something else lined up, or are you just like enjoying being employed?
No, just OnlyFans.
Brutal. Stepping up my career, buddy.
We're gonna be making lots of money. So I do.
Actually, this podcast, gonna use it to pimp my OnlyFans.
Right. We're just gonna have it in the description.
It'll be the links. It'll be in the links.
Yes. But yeah, I do have something else lined up, and I'm excited about it, but still freaked out about it. So more updates to come probably next month.
Was that all we did? We moving on to media?
We can definitely move on to media.
All right, boys, how many games did we get this month? I got 3.
I have 5, but I don't need to talk about all of them.
I basically have 2.
Well, Rob, you're up.
All right. You know what? I'll talk about the one I said I didn't need to talk about real quick, just because it's quick and fast. I don't remember if I mentioned Omega Strikers last time.
Get the fuck out. Get off the podcast.
It's
I'm throwing you overboard. I'm the captain now.
It's a 3v3.
I'm replacing you with Shy. Wait, no. Same problem.
Yeah, no, I've been playing with Shy actually.
We need more diversity. Put another woman on the podcast.
All right.
You can speak now. You're allowed.
It's a 3v3 air hockey like game and it controls like a MOBA. So point and click and shoot your abilities. And you're just trying to score goals on the other side, but your little characters have different abilities. There's a goalie character, and well, there's multiple goalie characters, and their abilities are going to reflect blocking and stuff like that. And I didn't really care for it too much. I was like, you know. But I've been playing it a little more with Shy. He got me into ranked and been doing pretty good with that. I think I'm about to be silver. Cool character designs, quick, fast matches. So if you're looking for a game to just hop in, have some fun, and get out, that's your game.
Any hot Omega Strikers tips, Rob?
Yeah. Don't suck, get good.
So it's that League of Legends mentality.
Yeah, and then you can spam emotes when you score a goal. Kind of funny. Oh, I guess I should say this. You can also kick people off the map, which is a really fun thing to do.
I mean, that's cool. Hey, Rob, how much money have you spent so far on this free-to-play video game?
$10.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. I'll keep asking that every podcast.
And then that's all I'm ever spending on.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
In fact, I only spent $10 because that was the minimum amount I could purchase to buy the one thing I wanted to buy.
Yeah, until the next thing you want to buy happens.
Nah. All right, I'll talk about another game since I still have one more than both of y'all. So because it's the spooky season, and I kept seeing that there's a bunch of cool games to play on Roblox, I decided to give that a try.
Get off this fucking podcast.
It just recently dropped on the PS4, PS5, and I did not know what Roblox was. I thought I knew. It's an app where people will make games or assets for games, and you can play them or try them out. People charge for things that they make, but overall, it's like a little mini game maker type thing. We played a couple of spooky games. They were silly, silly fun. Where most of them that we played, I think that the fun you're gonna have is playing this with a friend or friends and just laughing at the absurdity of some of the things, and everything being blocky. Kinda, it just makes it funnier because some things are scary because they're chasing you in the sound design, and so you're trying to run away and not get caught. But if you actually look at the model, it looks like something 3-year-old drew if they were drawing a picture of Minecraft. That being said, I played with Stephanie a little, and while we were trying to figure out how to play together, because I guess we're old now, Stephanie. I guess we're boomers because I used to be able to join a match pretty easily or get into a lobby with people easy. We couldn't even figure out how to move.
Yeah, it was wild.
That might be because it was probably optimized for PC though, and when they ported it, that's why we have to click the thing to. But anyway, we went into one where it was like scary stories hub, and you could walk around, and there was these different books, and each one had a different scary story that you could play through. We thought it was co-op, but it wasn't, and we both jumped into this one that was very clearly a PT based game. And I have to admit, it was really good for the assets that they have and the things they were doing. I mean, I got scared. And yeah, what did you think of that one? Or of Roblox in general?
I thought it was really interesting. Jake, I think we have to tell you, or maybe Robert already told you, but it was wild though because some of the games, of course, right? They did have like basically like in-game purchases, but it would be like wild stuff. Like you would have to pay for a flashlight or a better flashlight to play in the game, and it was just like this is a lot of extra money.
Yeah, but isn't all the content like community made?
I think.
I hope, but I think also too, right? So then you are, I guess, like donating to the person who makes it, which is like kind of cool, but it's also kind of like, this is a little weird.
Yeah, hold on. How much do Roblox devs get?
I have no idea. Like I said, I knew of Roblox, but I didn't really know what it was until I was like, it's going to be an app. We'll try it.
Yeah, it was just wild. Also, too, there were times where I like tried to customize my character and it just did not work out, and I ended up scaring Robert more than the games that we were playing. So it was great.
I forgot about that.
Too.
Yeah, because she made an avatar where she didn't look like your basic default. She just looked like a girl character, and like she had some accessories, and I was like, "Oh, you look really cool." And I like would turn around, and then I turn around again, and all of a sudden, she's like just a block with a skull, like a weird red looking skull, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Like a baby skull, like a baby head doll.
Yeah, yeah. You know, is that what it's referencing? What's that Kanye song?
What?
Remember that Kanye song on SNL? They look like block people. They had their little heads.
Oh, I mean, they could have been inspired by Roblox, but I'm not actually sure.
That's what it looked like. That's what Stephanie's character looked like.
That's messed up.
It was terrifying.
Apparently, community creators get a 30% cut of whatever microtransactions they sell.
So they get 30 cents off a dollar?
It's honestly not that bad
Yeah,
because they don't have to handle the infrastructure or server costs or any of that shit or marketing.
with things like a better flashlight, or one of the other ones was there was a puzzle you had to solve with a maze, and you could just buy the map that would tell you where everything was. I feel like with things like that, we will be like, "Oh yeah, no," or maybe we'll be like, I'll throw the creator a bone. Here you go. But I feel like kids, if there's a credit card on there, they might not know, or they might be like, it's $1. And after like 2-3 hours of playing, maybe they've spent like 20 to $30.
Yeah, but you make that argument for literally any free to play game that children play.
But it's not in game. This is like if you were playing Fortnite and you went to pick up a gun and it was like, oh, you can have this gun for $1.
I guess. Don't you have to like load Roblox credits onto your account?
I don't know.
Or does as soon as you pick up the flashlight, it's like, all right, cool, give me your fucking pin.
I don't know because I didn't buy the flashlight.
Should have
Yeah.
bought
I
it.
didn't buy credits.
Not doing thorough research, bud.
That's fair.
It's not like I'm gonna be in that shit. I'm just like, yeah, this is just a Gary's mod, but bad.
See, I never had my Gary's mod moment, so
Yeah, well, you fucking missed out because Roblox is definitely not fucking Gary's mod.
that was our foray into the Roblox. I just said the Roblox. God damn it!
How old are you? 40?
I'm gonna kill myself. Jake, what did you play?
Speaking of Roblox, I was playing some Resident Evil. Played some RE4 remake this month, and my opinion on the game is it's pretty okay.
Is it better, worse?
I don't fucking know. I didn't play the OG.
Well, compare it to RE7, RE8, RE9.
I mean, it's just kind of a different game. Like, I can't even compare it to RE2 because it is, or RE2 remake, because it's like intentionally very action focused. Like in RE2 remake, you're like, at least when you're playing on hard, killing enemies isn't really an option unless you have like a shotgun or like a magnum round. You're usually just using your bullets to get by enemies and then calling it square. In this game, you're fucking murdering literally everybody you see.
Yeah.
And the game, it's pretty clear that the game wants you to do that. Like, you get a shotgun right off the bat, your starting pistol's pretty good, you can find a really shitty crossbow that I didn't use at the start, and you are just mowing down hordes of Spanish people. But, I mean, I like the way the game plays. Like,
See, I'm really interested in comparing the sound designs. Because like I said, I'm in love with the OG's sound design.
I mean, I thought the remake sound was, like, good. I don't know if I cared. I didn't think it was bad.
Did you beat it?
Like, yeah, I beat it. I went all the way through it. It's basically, like, to be honest, all fucking Resident Evil games are basically Indiana Jones games. I'm not gonna lie. You're basically just a glorified treasure hunter in every single fucking Resident Evil game.
That makes two of you that have finished Resident Evil 4. Because I never actually finished it.
Bro, what the fuck?
What?
I'm on the last mission, I think.
Why
Like-
not finish it? Like, you're right there.
Well, I know, but then like I got to other stuff and everything, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the final boss, but now I can't do that.
I mean, I think you still can, no?
Well, I was gonna
Right.
ask, what is it? Is it as stupid in the original 4 as it is in the remake?
Stephanie would know the answer to
Wait a
this.
minute. So, but wouldn't you also know?
Is it a surprise though? I haven't. Well, I know who I'm going after.
What do you mean by last mission?
I think the last thing I did was I was underground in the caves. This was after I went to the island, and there's that big guy that's released, and you have to keep. You're like in the cages, and you have to keep like opening one and going through it before he gets you.
Yeah, I don't think that part's in the remake.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Stephanie?
I'm trying to think, but I guess also too. So then, wait, did you make it down to the docks then?
Yeah.
I think the endings for these games must be different then, because like you don't go to any fucking docks.
You don't go to an island?
Well, you do, but the boss fight is like on an oil rig.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that was like a dock thing. It's been a minute since I've played that game, but yeah.
Yeah. And then like,
You're still surrounded like by water, right?
Kinda. The oil rig is built into the side of the island.
yeah. And it's like on the there's like an office way up, or it's not an office, it's like a watchtower thing.
I mean, as I said, it's like a military installation. Like it's a military base on the island.
Yeah. Yeah. So see, that's where I'm at. So is that not the end, basically?
Yeah, but I was gonna ask questions about what you're fighting specifically to try to like compare them. But no, you haven't beat it.
I mean, Stephanie can compare.
But don't you also want to know it?
I do know the differences is like mainly the knife foo. Like there's less of that in the OG4, right?
I mean, there is that one fight that's all QTEs.
Do you QTE against Krauser? Is that what that fight is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking lame.
Do you not? Do you actually fight him?
Okay, so the way the knife works in this game is you hold the left bumper and you whip out your knife. And then you could either do a horizontal slash or a stab. And the way that fight works against Krauser is also you have a parry that you could do with the knife too. So the way that fight works is if you try to shoot him, the game will punish you and he'll just rush your shit down. But if you fucking pull out your knife while he has his knife out, it basically just turns into Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's what the OG is, except it's QTEs. You don't actually get to.
Like you got to parry all of his attacks on time with the parry button. Like you got to know when to go for slashes, when to go for stabs. You're like circling each other, but not in like a QTE or cutscene, but in like real in game. And that fight's really fucking cool.
I mean, it looks cool in the OG, but it is just you hit the QTEs, and that's the parry.
Yeah, there's like no QTEs in this game. But yeah, I think this game actually plays fucking great. Like all the weapons feel nice and chunky. Like I ran with the Red 9 throughout the entire game and was pissing me off for about 75% of it because I didn't buy the fucking stock like an idiot.
Is Ashley as annoying of a bitch as she is in the OG?
Kind of, but I was also playing on hard, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Like the amount of times that like the accuracy of the Red 9 fucked me is outstanding. Like, because every time she'd get picked up and I would try to shoot the guy in the legs, I would just dome her in the back of the fucking head.
Rip.
And like, I'm assuming in the OG, if you shoot Ashley once, it's over.
I think that once they're carrying her away or whatever, if you shoot in that general direction, I think even if you hit her, it just drops her. Like,
Oh, it's fucking.
like it doesn't do.
I guess.
I think.
Yeah. No.
I didn't really let.
Well, like if you hit her once while she's being carried away, she's done. And I forgot that I was like, okay, I'll just snipe this dude. And then I forgot that the sniper has bullet penetration and fucking killed her.
But VR though.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if it would feel like an entirely different experience. Like, I don't think I would do VR over the remake. I would probably just play them both because it's the third person video game. It is inherently different.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on OG4, Stephanie? You got any questions about the remake?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I guess also too, I thought Robert, you were also gonna play that. Did you play that?
I wanted to, but after playing the OG, I was like, this was really fun. I really enjoyed this. I don't know if playing the remake that soon after playing the OG, I felt like maybe I wouldn't like it as much. So I was like, I'll wait, maybe play it on VR.
I know. I had a good time. I didn't 100% those fucking shooting ranges though, because I knew I'd be stuck adding hours to this fucking game if I did. So I just had to rip myself away from it.
Skill issue.
Skipped all that shit.
They were really fun in the OG one.
Oh no, they're fun, but also like it would irritate me not getting 100%. And then after spending an hour doing it, I was like, okay, no, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. Because all that gets you is like a little charm you can put on your case that gets you a little buff. Like I think the buff I had was like 50% extra magnum ammo when you craft it. But what I enjoy about this game is it really shows you that Leon's just a nice guy. He's just a nice dude, and he's never stopped being a nice dude.
I think we played two different games, bud.
Is he a fucking sassy asshole piece of shit?
I mean, yeah.
Like, he's mildly sassy in the remake, but he's never a dick. Like, the amount of times he has the opportunity to just, like, tell Ashley to shut the fuck up, or be annoyed by her or be upset with her. He's just like the most patient man on the fucking planet. Like Ashley's like, hey, we make a great team. Maybe I could be a special agent. Haha. And then like you know the scene, bro. And then like Leon can have the you don't want this life, Ashley. You don't know what I've been through. But he's literally just like, haha, we gotta make it out of here first, champ. Like he's just a sweet, wholesome guy the whole way through. He's just tired and jaded from his military service.
It's the president's daughter, bro. Can't really be rude.
Yeah, but like she's also like kind of a bitch to him at the start. And like he just takes it, bro. He's just a nice dude.
Also, too, so I had saw this on TikTok that there's a compilation of like all the times that basically Leon interacts with like Ada. It's throughout all of them, right? But also too, the like remake is in there for 4, and it actually is pretty funny, like how awkward I guess Leon can be, and how like out of context some of those things were. It was pretty great.
Well, yeah, he could like fucking lay into Ada too, but like he's like also weirdly nice to her too, even though she's a fucking bitch in the remake.
Is Ada in the remake a lot?
I mean, she also has her own fucking chapter as DLC.
Yeah, but just in like the base game.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, she's not like a major part of it, but she shows in the back.
She has blips.
Because if I remember correctly, she just shows up like at the randomest time in the OG. Like you'll be doing something and someone will be there and then she'll just like pop through a window, shoot someone away, say a one-liner, and then jump back out the window.
Stephanie, did you play the remake or just OG?
Just OG.
Yeah, no. She's got like cutscenes and dialogue. Like she's like whenever you see her, it's because she's doing other shit on the island, which I'm assuming that other shit gets revealed during her like DLC chapter. But like she's kind of in the game, kind of a lot, sort of. But yeah, it was RE4 remake. Leon's still the fucking soft boy band boy he was in RE2 remake, and I really like that.
I love Leon.
Stephanie, Rob, what you got? One of you two go.
Okay. All right then. So my first video game would be Romancylvania, another dating sim. But also too, I guess I didn't know what I was getting into. So Robert is actually the one that sent me the trailer, and this was like a while ago, I think, that you sent me it.
I think it was before the podcast.
Yeah, like it was a minute ago. But also too, I guess with this dating sim, I'm used to it just being like, oh, you like click an option and then it will like basically have like a different storyline. Romancylvania does none of that shit. Like basically you are playing a video game and you're also trying to like date all of these monsters. It's like kind of crazy. And I guess also too, just for like some background. So you're Dracula and your human just broke up with you. And basically you've been in your castle for like 100 years. And so the Grim Reaper is trying to get you out and dating again. And basically you have to like fight the skeletons that are in your castle because you haven't been out of your room for 100 years. It's just very wild. So you end up going to like this meeting spot and you end up finding out that you are going to be on a dating show. So it's like a dating show, a video game, and a dating sim. There's just a lot going on. And I can see why it didn't get the best reviews because like I guess battling isn't always the funnest and it's like kind of clunky. And you have to earn back all of your, I guess, like power ups that you have as Dracula. It's kind of wild. But anyway, I didn't finish the game. And also, too, you get to choose if you want girl Dracula or guy Dracula, whatever you like. Also, too, there are different voices for each of them. And basically, you get to see all of the different monsters. So far, I think I have like a fire dude, I have Medusa, and I have a siren. And basically, they all have their own tales. And also, too, some of them you can only be friends with, some of them you can be enemies with, and some of them you can actually start a relationship with. And so you get to like see all of the different interactions with that. So it's been wild.
I looked up the Steam page for this game, and I see a scarecrow woman with big, fat pumpkin tits.
Sometimes, Jake, It just depends on what you like, all right?
Okay, I was just sold, bro.
So when you're fighting these skeletons, is it like a beat 'em up, or is it like does it go into like a fighting game style little?
I guess like it's kind of like a beat 'em up, I guess. Like think of like Devil May Cry because also too the music does change and it's really interesting. And then it's just a little bit weird. And also too, it's not just skeletons that you go against. It's like basically anything. So Medusa, she has like these weird like stone things that are after you. And then also too with the siren, she had like these other like weird enemies. So there are a lot of different enemies that you get to see throughout the game too.
Yeah, I was kind of not expecting this to be 3D. I was expecting like the 2D Castlevania clone, but
Yeah,
it kind
honestly,
of looks like
same.
a 3D action game.
Oh wow, the graphics look kind of cool.
I mean, it looks like a good looking game.
The dialogue is really funny. I just think that yeah, the mechanics of the game aren't the best. It's just kind of hard again to like battle things, but also too, it's like I guess pretty fun. You never get bored because it's like always changing, so that's kind of nice.
So you're when you say that your human left you at the beginning, Dracula just lets that happen. Like he doesn't murder them or she murder them.
So here's the thing, like I guess so because honestly, it's just like, "Oh, I can't believe she broke up with me." And then like the Grim Reaper brings it up like, "Oh, I can't believe you let that woman just break up with you like that." And so I'm guessing like, yeah. So now you're putting yourself out there as Dracula. Find somebody new. That's not human.
Oh, you're done with humans. You're like, I gotta date a monster.
You just understand more.
Makes sense. Would you recommend it, or is it just quirky?
I mean, it depends. Depends on what you really like. If there is someone you really want to romance, I feel like, yeah, that would be kind of cool. But the fighting isn't that great. I think you'd really like it, Robert, because there is some crazy shit that happens in it. But
What do you mean?
again, it again, I think you just really like the music in it, and also too, you really like the dialogue. Mhm.
So it's cringe, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely.
I wouldn't say that. I think it just depends on what you're doing. It has a lot going on. That's what I will say.
I can't tell if what you're trying to say is that this game is super horny, or that it's super cringe, or I don't know.
Or all
But
the above.
It just depends on how you take it. I guess also too, you like do get I think you can get like items from them. So also even just like with Dream Daddy, right? Like you would get these photos. I think it's the same thing. And also too, they do give you back also like power-ups as well. And they can give you gifts. It's just kind of wild.
well, Romansylvania, keeping in tone with the spooky themes. Jake here was kind enough to purchase a game that was worth just the same amount as the bottle of Malore.
Uh, Technically, I think it was more expensive. Tax.
Oh, okay. The Malore or the game?
The game because the Malore was like $41 plus change.
I played a game called System Shock, or well, the remake of System Shock. This is a game that Jake has played a couple of years ago. He played the original, and I remember liking everything about that game, except it looked way too complicated for me. Jake would explain time and time again, it's not that complicated. But I'd look at the screen and it would scare me, and I was like, nah, I can't keep track of all this. So when System Shock Remake came out, Jake bought it and he's like, you're playing the shit. And I love this game. You can see so much of the DNA of Bioshock in this game, but this game, it takes place in a space station, and there is a rogue AI that is set on destroying Earth, and you have to stop it while it is doing everything in its power to kill you. The music, top notch. The enemies, they're still terrifying, and it's got it's just it's fun enough that like an actiony that at times you'll be like going through the game just killing things, exploring. You almost kind of forget that it's a horror game. And it's not that much of a horror game, but it has scares in there where you'll be like, all right, I'm doing great. And then you'll open a door and there'll be like 20 enemies and you're just like, yikes. And just instantly have to book it. And one thing I like about this game is, so let's say you do that. Let's say you go into a room, you open the door, you see a bunch of enemies, and you're like, oh, I'm booking it. And you leave like I do. You run away like a little bitch and you go and find a med station or something to recharge your gun, because those are two things that you do. Because I left that door open, those enemies followed me. And now they're not all in that room. They can be anywhere. And so I'll go back expecting, oh, video game logic, all those enemies spawned in that room, they're going to be in that room. No. And so now, and some enemies, Jake, I don't know if they have a name. They look like they look like COVID-19s actually.
The fuck?
The invisible things.
Oh, the little fucking manta ray thing blobs. Or no, the manta rays are something else. They're like little fucking circle blobs from like that water level in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. But they're invisible until you get close enough. And so I'll just be walking with no health. And these things are toxic, so they will shoot. I don't, because it's like a blast that they shoot, but then it's toxic waste.
It's like a
gas
sonic
around
blast
you.
or some shit.
It fucks you up. But it's a super fun game. Jake can probably sell this game a lot better than I can, even though he hasn't played this version of it. He saw me play a little bit of it, though. Jake, what do you got to say about this game?
I mean, it looks really, really good. Like, I thought it was just going to be like a straight, fucking, like the original game is made out of pixel art. So, in like a Doom style aesthetic, like OG Doom. And I thought I was just going to go from that to like Unreal 5 engine upgrade. But it's got like a unique aesthetic to it. Like, some things are just intentionally low poly and some things have intentionally like low resolution, which gives the game a vibe that is way better than I thought it would be. Like, I thought it was just going to be a straight, we're going to go from Doom straight to realism, but nah, it's got an aesthetic and a vibe that I feel like fits it just fine. The original game, what Robert's talking about is a UI nightmare, and it's a UI nightmare on purpose because you're supposed to feel like a badass hacker with a cool cybernetic implant that lets you do all this shit in your head. So there's a little meter that shows like if you're leaning or not, or how like much you're crouching, because the way the crouch button works in that game is you hold it and then you'll slowly start crouching down until you crawl, or you hold the like stand button and you'll slowly start standing up until you're fully standing. Same with the leans. There's also like a fucking screen because you could put eyes literally in the back of your head. You could fucking put roller skates on and fucking run around with roller skates and a shotgun. Like, that game is fucking zany, but also completely fucking horrifying sometimes. Like, the only thing I miss, like, I think you probably should play the remake over the OG if you have mild interest. The thing I think that gets missed is the OG game had a lot of digitized sprites. So it would be like digitized pictures of real people and their corpses are fucking everywhere and it's viciously unsettling. Like, you'll just find severed heads in fucking crates. There will be blood splattered all over the fucking walls.
Jesus.
Like, you'll fucking find people's bones lying in corners and shit and have an audio log of their last moments. And it sounds not good. Like, one of the first experiences I had is, like, the station has, like, low gravity, kinda. So if you time your jumps just right, you can jump way higher than you're supposed to. And I see in this little ventilation shaft, there's like an item up there and I want to grab it. And you can grab and interact with any item in the game. Most of them serve no purpose, but like if you really want that fucking microscope in the lab, you can just put it in your inventory if you really want it. And I bunny hop my way all the way up into the vent and then grab what's in there and then fall down, and I realize it's a severed human head that looks like someone's real fucking head digitized. And then I immediately threw that shit across the room because it scared the fuck out of me. And I think this game does cyber horror so well.
I love all the robots.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like a B cyber horror movie, and I love it.
it's very Doctor Who enemies, and I love that shit. The game is really fun though, and I mean, me personally, I like to recycle, so I spend a lot of the game just going around grabbing items and recycling them for coins.
Yeah, it's a new mechanic that irritated the shit out of me because I was watching Robert play it, and they have these vending machines everywhere now that weren't in the original game. That let you buy like items and health packs and ammo and shit. And yeah, and the way you get them is you recycle all that useless junk that you used to be able to put in your inventory in the old game, and it'll spit out coins. So yeah, I guess they found a purpose for all that useless garbage you were able to pick up. But I literally watching Robert run into a room, pick up all the trash, recycle it, and the recycling animation takes like 15 fucking seconds, and then it spits out one coin, and he's like, "Cool, I only need 19 more to buy this soda."
Sodas that heal you like 1 health.
Yeah, for 1 HP out of 100. And I was like, glad I bought you this fucking game so you could play Recycling Simulator.
It's a good time.
But yeah, if you have any love for like the BioShock 1 or 2 or Infinite, like System Shock 1 is the bones of BioShock. And like I feel like it's not really hard to see that. Because BioShock, the like first game, in of itself, kind of fucking spooky sometimes.
And I feel like even some of the tasks you have to do are very similar. What I really liked about the music is, so when there's enemies, the music changes. So you'll be running away. If you're running away and you get away from them, the music will stop. Or if you kill everyone, that music will stop. But then there's times I'll go into a room or I'll open a door to a place I previously thought was safe, and I'll be hearing the music. But I'm looking around and there's no enemies. So and I'm like, okay, it's those invisible guys. And I'm like inching slowly to make sure that, because you can also run into them and they'll just shoot you and it's bad. So there's a lot of times where I don't know if the game's doing this on purpose or if there is like an enemy just on the other end and I keep like circling around them. But it gives me this paranoia of like, I have no health. I have to make it over there. Do I just run it and like I might die because I'm about to die? Or do I take my time slowly and carefully and make sure that they don't see me and then like just kill them real quick? And that's really fun. Is this game on consoles or no?
I have no idea. I do not think so.
Shame.
A little bit.
But yeah, that was System Shock. Unless you have any questions about it.
Apparently it's supposed to get ported sometime this year. I do not know if they'll hit that fucking date or not. Well, damn. Rob, my sister and I would hop on the little Discord server here every once in a while, and we would watch each other play spooky games. And I purchased for myself a game I was looking forward to for a long time. I just forgot it existed until this Halloween. Stephanie, what do you know about D?
I do not know a lot. You should probably tell me a lot about it.
So you know nothing about D.
That was not a setup to a joke.
You don't know anything about D, Stephanie.
Not for this spooky season.
Okay. D is a point and click sort of horror adventure game that I think was originally dropped for the Sega Saturn, or it might have been 3DO. I don't really fucking remember, but whatever. Old ass game, PS1, in between PS1 and like SNES generation. And the game looks chef's kiss, fucking beautiful. This is the most aesthetically pleasing game I think I played this year. And the story is you're playing as the titular character, Laura. And she is driving in her Ferrari to a hospital where there has been a mass shooting because that shooter was her father. And she decides to just walk right past the fucking police line and then go investigate what the fuck is going on herself. And then upon entering the hospital that he shot up, she gets teleported to a spooky castle. And then you do adventure game shit.
This game is a fucking nightmare.
Wait, what adventure stuff? What do you mean by that?
Like think Tomb Raider puzzles, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go pick up items to solve puzzles with, use to combine items or whatever. Go to this room, grab this code, put the code in this room here, avoid traps, shit like that.
So this game, I don't even know how all of the puzzles are things like you need to turn this thing counterclockwise 18 times. Exactly. If you do it any less or any more, the thing that's supposed to happen will not happen.
Yeah, some of the puzzles in this game are fucking obtuse. Like, if I was not using a walkthrough, we would not have seen the end of this game. Like, and also, this game has a 2-hour time limit too. If you do not beat it within 2 hours, and there's no saves, Laura gets stuck in the castle and she fucking dies.
Jesus.
So you have to beat it in one sitting, in one shot.
And for reasons unknown, her dad just shows up randomly as a floating head.
Yeah, the
And
fucking most goopiest ghost you've ever seen in your fucking life.
and he's just like, "Don't come. You gotta go. Leave, Laura."
Laura, like, this entire game has a fucking vibe to it, bro. I do not know how to describe it. It's like shitty B horror, but like,
Shittier.
yeah, because like, I don't know, they're probably, the graphics probably looked good at the time, but in a modern context, they look like absolute dog shit. Like, they look like those 3D games you would find on an old Apple computer in your fucking school. Like, if you're playing like fucking like Math Blaster or whatever.
Nice.
But it adds to the like uncanny fucking vibe to the whole game, because this game is like kind of fucking spooky. It's like really eerie. But yeah, we did get through it. We beat the game in one shot. 1 hour and 50 minutes. I did it. All me.
So Jake spends this entire time reading guides and figuring out how to get there. And it's late now, and we're probably gonna head to bed. But Jake's like, we're almost there. We're at the ending. And I won't spoil the ending. Or actually, we can. I don't think you're ever gonna play this game. But Jake's like, all right, finally. Here we go. We're at the thing. All I gotta do is push this button. And then Jake did not push the right button.
I pressed the wrong fucking button.
What?
And got the bad ending. Okay, so you getting the good ending versus getting the bad ending is literally the difference in pressing 2 buttons at the end of the game. That is it. And I literally pressed the wrong fucking key. And I was like, no! Because, like, I'm not going to replay this game again to see that ending. I was like, fuck! So we watched the bad ending. And then we saw probably the coolest credit sequence I've ever seen in my fucking life. I doubt Robert would disagree with me. And then you realize the music in the credit sequence, which is this fucking rad-ass guitar that is not anywhere fitting in this spooky point-and-click adventure game, was made by the games director himself. And weird fun fact, Kenji Ono, the guy who made this game, kind of a fucking legend. Everything he does is fucking weird and arcane, but this man was like literally a fucking game developer rock star. Like, he had a deal with PlayStation to like make so many copies of his game, but PlayStation thought it would sell like dog shit. So like they'd underprinted a bunch of copies because they didn't want to have a bunch of overstock of this shitty game. And then the game sold out, and then just fucking supply could not meet demand. And that pissed this man off so hard that he actively burned bridges with Sony at like an E3 press conference. Like, he's like, and my next game will be this. Only on Dreamcast. Sega forever. Fuck you, Sony. And he basically leaves the stage.
Iconic.
Well, that worked out for him.
I mean, he biffed it. Whatever. He won the moral victory. All right.
He did win the moral victory. I think we can tell her why it's called D. Like,
Stephanie, would you like to know why this game is called D?
I would love to go on this journey. Why is it called D?
Because when Laura climbs to the top of the castle and confronts her father who's sitting in a chair, he reveals that he killed all those people in the hospital because he has a bloodlust inside him. And it's inside Laura too, because they are descendants of Dracula. And he reveals that you killed your mother as a child. And that is why it is called D.
Man, well, Jake, you had me there in the first beginning, so I'm glad that that's why it's called D. Thank goodness.
Yep, the ending is literally like, he's like, all right, Laura, let me eat you so it can grow to full power. And then you either shoot him in the fucking chest or you let him eat you. And I accidentally walked right into him and let him eat me. But Robert, we missed some things. Apparently, depending on the items you examine, there are flashbacks of like Laura stabbing her mother to death and eating her. So I guess we missed out on that.
oh no. What a travesty.
Those cutscenes are fucking wild, bro.
That whole game was wild.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's a YouTuber called Dungeon Chill that has a pretty good video on it. If you just want to spend 20 minutes on this weird curiosity instead of spending a full 2 hours.
There was a review for this game that I looked up while Jake was playing it, and it was like the biggest fan of this game because he bought the Steam version, he had the OG version on the PlayStation, on the Sega. Like he lives and breathes this game, and he's like, "Oh, if you guys want to play a fun little drinking game, just take a shot every time her dad says Laura."
Laura, yeah, you die.
This motherfucker says Laura like 20 times in one sentence.
And he always says it like Laura, not like a normal human being, but like an ominous, creepy ghost, even though he's alive.
Yeah, because he's not actually a ghost. This is just him mind projecting himself trying to protect his daughter. You know, as one does.
The eater?
Well, you see, he's protecting her from himself because he's trying to turn, but he hasn't turned yet. Except he did kill all those people, so.
I mean, he did shoot up literally an entire hospital. Like literally killed everybody there with a 6-shooter somehow.
This is a Sukuna situation, all right?
Okay.
Oh.
Dracula is Sukuna inside of him.
Should have just said that.
Yeah, great little curiosity. I'm glad I finally got around to like actually fucking playing it. I feel like that was an experience that'll go down in the Halloween records.
It was definitely an experience.
And this game has a sequel called D2, and I don't think it has anything to do with vampires. So I am super excited.
It doesn't.
No, I think it's like, I believe inspired by The Thing.
Wild. Stephanie, you played another video game.
I did. It was called Melatonin.
Ooh.
And honestly, I think I got this game for like $6. So
It's on sale. Did you get it on Switch?
I did. And I guess also too, Romancevania was on the PS5. So Robert, you have access to that. But anyway,
Oh shit, that's true. I can just download that. I'm gonna get me a scarecrow.
my gosh. Melatonin is just a rhythm game. Like there's not a whole lot to it. Basically, like I guess the premise about it is that like you fall asleep and in your dreams you basically get to go to like these different places, if that makes sense. So you can either dream about food, you can dream about shopping, and you just have to like match the rhythm basically with just pressing buttons on the Switch. So it's just like relaxing. And then it's not relaxing because then you're trying to like beat it and you're like, what the fuck is all of this patterns and ridiculousness? But it's pretty nice.
I like the aesthetic of it. It looks really chill.
Same.
Yeah, I was actually quite excited for this game. I was just going to wait for it to go on sale before I full out bought it.
What's the music? Is it like lo-fi, vaporwavy?
It depends on like what level you're on, but yeah, it pretty much is just because in every single, I guess, like level, it's a different dream. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, I basically heard it was like Rhythm Heaven, but with a lo-fi soundtrack instead.
This is Rhythm Heaven another?
Rhythm Heaven. So you know WarriorWare?
WarioWare?
Like the mini game. Yeah, where you got to do a bunch of mini games in like 5 seconds or whatever, over and over, faster and faster, repeatedly.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like that, except there's a rhythm to the thing you're doing, and all the things you're doing add to the beat.
See, I'm very curious now because just looking at the pictures I'm seeing here, it looks really chill. So, like, what happens when it gets a little more intense? Like, does the visuals change?
So technically it doesn't, but there are, well, I guess also too, every single level has like a practice mode, and then it goes to scored mode, and then it goes to hard mode, and I think there's another mode after. So it's just kind of like, what the heck?
Ooh, on Steam, it looks like it has workshop support. So I think you can add different songs.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yep, latest build of Melatonin allows PC players to use their own song files in the Melatonin level editor.
Let's go.
Dang, must be nice.
Just need to get a PC.
Just get a Steam Deck, loser. Why don't you have a spare $650, Stephanie? And then
Yeah,
another
what am I
$100 on
saying?
accessories.
It just happened to be 650 exactly.
No.
I don't know, if you buy a refurbished Steam Deck, I heard you can get them for like $300.
Yeah, but who wants a refurbished Steam Deck?
Well, I mean, like,
You think someone that writes letters of resignations buys refurbished Steam Decks?
I don't know, Steam fixes them themselves. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, this joystick's fucked, and then they'll replace the joystick, and then they'll be like, boom, refurbished.
Well,
Melatonin. Anyway, who's next?
I have played 2 games that both of you have seen. I'll start with Layers of Fear because I think both of you guys have beat that, and I am like halfway through it. Layers of Fear is, according to Jake, very much an Amnesia clone, but I do like the story. You play as this artist who fucked up his leg. I don't remember how. And so he's got like a wooden leg, but it's the wrong size. So he walks with like a limp, which makes for an interesting little audio and visual cue. From what I gather, your wife is dead, and I haven't exactly figured out how or why, what happened. And you're at this house. You haven't left for a while. The house is all kind of run down, and you're trying to draw your final or paint your final piece of art that will be it's the one. It's the last thing you need to do, I guess. Very spooky. I like the atmosphere. I like the way that the game does environmental storytelling. The dialogue and writing on letters is really funny. Plus, it looks good too. Like the graphics are good. There's a lot of rats.
I know, I feel like me calling it an Amnesia clone is being disingenuous, because like Amnesia has enemies. As far as I know, Layers of Fear is pretty much all puzzle solving.
I also like what it does to the world around you. Like how you go into the mirror that one time and then things are reversed, and that affects how you interact with things. It is very artistic, and there's probably a million references that I am not at all getting to all these different pieces of art because I recognize some of the paintings that are shown, but I couldn't tell you who painted them. But I'm sure they're all like actual pieces, which is now that I think about it, like, can you just use that? Can you use famous pieces of art?
They're public domain. Oh, who's going to sue you?
I don't know, bro.
The fucking Michelangelo estate?
I'm just saying that.
Himself.
Who owns the rights to Michelangelo's work?
I don't know. That was my question.
Louvre? I don't know.
I'm very engaged with the story, and even though it is kind of just walking around, it has me interested to finish it.
Did you like this game, Stephanie?
I did. I like the way that I guess it ended, where I was like, oh, okay then. Not like the complete end, but like the things it did at the end. I guess also too, Robert, did you end up getting to like the daughter's room?
Uh,
It's pretty far towards the end, if I recall.
I don't
Maybe
think so.
Never mind then. There's just like it's scary, but like the funniest shit ever, and I'm just like, oh my god.
And I'm not going to say I fucking hated this game, even though I talked a lot of shit. But like, I'm not really one for walking sims, and I tolerate puzzle games. So it's more just not my cup of tea. I do think it's got an aesthetic to it, and I think it does some interesting things with the visuals that are happening on screen.
Yeah, I really like what they do with like sometimes the rooms melting, sometimes like painted. It's really cool. But if there's a funny part or something that it's, I'm guessing I'm gonna jump a lot during that part, so I can stream that at some point.
I don't think you will. Because there was a point where I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I just like kept watching it because I was like, do I go towards what is happening? And then it just came a point where it was just I saw it too many times and it was just ridiculous.
But yeah, that's Layers of Fear. It's a fun little horror game that Brienne got me, and I've been having fun with it, keeping up with the spooky themes. Jake, I feel like you have a hidden gem.
We, comrade. Last episode, I talked about a little game called Illbleed and how excited I was to finally, allegedly, get a copy. And Robert and I played some motherfucking Illbleed. This game fucks. This game rules. This is one of the most unique and interesting pieces of media I've ever consumed.
It's also a little sus.
It's you have no idea, buddy. Oh, fuck. Oh, boy. So I beat this game twice, and we'll get into that. But I believe I went over the premise of this game last episode. You play as this girl named Eriko. There's a horror theme park that opened up, and her friends go, and they don't come back. So Eriko goes into the horror theme park and starts visiting all the attractions to go save her friends. And that's pretty much the long and short of it. Like, you enter each attraction, you get through it, you either save your friends on time or don't, and then you move on to the next attraction. What this game is basically is spooky Minesweeper. I believe I also mentioned this in the last episode, but you can mark where you think potential jump scares will be in the levels as you're walking through them. And if you're right, you get some of the resource you spend to mark jump scares back. And if you're wrong, yeah, adrenaline. If you're wrong, you can just go fuck yourself.
That actually does sound fun. Minesweeper? Oh my gosh.
Well, like, even if you do get hit by the jump scares, like, it's usually pretty fucking funny or pretty interesting.
It's pretty wild, to be honest with you.
Yeah, some of them are pretty fucking nuts. Like, you're walking through a grocery store at some point, and one of them is an ass of a ham, and it just fucking leaps out and then farts on you.
I'm sorry, wait. What? Are you trying to say like a fucking pig or like
Yeah, like a pig's ass.
Oh, okay then. All right.
No, some of the jump scares are really some of them are like actually scary because I'm not expecting them. Like, there's like a lot of the levels are like clearly inspired by shit. So the first level is it's like a hotel where that like burned down and rebuilt or whatever. And the hotel owner's son died in that fire, and he blames anybody who enters the hotel. So you're basically trying to dodge this fucking mutant freak madman with a blowtorch, in addition to fucking doing the Minesweeper shit. And pretty much every single level ends in a big dumb boss fight.
I think Jake is underselling it here. So, picture the fucking theme park in Scooby-Doo. What is it? Creepy Island or something?
I don't remember.
I was like, that's a whole movie, but okay.
Zombie Island is its own thing, but there was a movie where it was like a spooky theme park.
Yeah. Or is it Voodoo Island? I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's the one where they fly and like...
Oh shit, the live action one. Okay, I was like racking my brain through all the animated ones. And no, you're talking about the fucking...
Same.
Dude,
yeah, I've been talking about the live action one this whole time.
Yeah, that fucking one, that movie fucks. Freddie Prinze Jr.
Really
Mwah.
does.
Matthew Willard, mwah.
Yeah, no, that movie is 10 out of 10.
Fuck, why didn't we watch that? Why didn't we watch that on Friday? Fuck.
I did watch it.
Fuck you. I wasn't invited, I guess.
It's October, bro. How am I not going to watch
Whatever,
that?
let's just talk about Obley, whatever. I'm not offended.
All right, so picture that island. So it's because it's a theme park, but like all the attractions are like this creepy story, basically. And
for context, the guy who opened up the theme park used to be a movie director, and he turned a bunch of his horror movies into the theme park attractions.
So everything that's trying to kill you is actually just like a mannequin or a robot that's doing the things. Even like the monsters. And the combat is so wild because you'll be walking in a room and the combat will happen. And it's either two dudes that are trying to beat the shit out of you, or it's like one big giant looking dude. And at least for the first mission, the one I played. And they just keep beating the shit out of you. But also like a little helicopter H on the ground appears. And you have to be near it and mash X to get the helicopter ladder to come down. And then the way you win is you escape on the helicopter.
Or you could just fuck with the shitty controls and try to kill all the enemies.
Never did that.
It does restore a shit ton of adrenaline when you do.
Okay, so
it's not like a bad move if you're running low on adrenaline.
What was that, Stephanie?
well, that makes sense. I guess also too. So then, what was like sus about this game?
Oh,
we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
So I only played this first mission. And after, I played it safe. So anytime I was like, oh, there's going to be danger there, I marked everything. So about halfway through the mission, I was completely out of adrenaline. And so I was just basically like, I'm going to get scared as soon as it happens. And I'm going to have to get out of the way as soon as I can so that I don't lose all my health. This made for some very interesting boss fights because there's also this mechanic where if you're too scared or if someone hit you, then you start to bleed. And if you sprint, your bleed meter fills up. And if it hits all the way, then you lose. So sprinting is filling up this meter that'll kill me. But also, you have to beat this mission under 50 minutes. So I was like, shit, I have to sprint. Finally, we get to the last boss fight. And I can't do it. Like, it's basically a Crash Bandicoot level where you're just jumping from one thing to the other.
Mm-hmm.
But the controls are shitty. It's also a little laggy for me. Not by much, but because I'm streaming it from Jake's computer, basically.
Yeah, we're playing it on Parsec.
And Jake finally hops on. And so it takes forever to get across to this area. And after about an hour of trying this, Jake finally takes over. And he tries. Finally, he makes it across. And he goes towards the exit. And we're like so excited. We're like, yeah, did it. The exit was locked by a key card. We were going the wrong way the whole time.
No, we didn't figure that out till later. So what this level is you're stuck in this little island and you need to run to this other island while there's a gigantic mutant man trying to crush you. So you basically need to flawlessly hop from debris or wood debris to wood debris, because if you land in the water, you'll move so slowly that you're just going to get hit by the giant monster. So you need to execute all of your jumps flawlessly to get to the fucking other island on the other side where the exit is. And I do it the first time and then bleed out. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is the gate locked? And then I do it a second time. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is the gate still locked? Am I just too late? What the fuck is happening? And then I bleed out right in front of the exit because I don't have any fucking health. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'll look it up. And then I look it up, and apparently there's a split path to a different island. And that's where the fucking key card is. And then you have to run back to the other island and then use the key card on that.
Do you want to explain how you get the key card?
Oh, yeah. What it is it's a control room. And you find a dude in a construction outfit. And Eriko runs in, and then she's like, yo, you gotta help me. There's a fucking big-ass dude out there trying to kill me. There's a fucking gigantic mutant man, sea monster thing. And he's like, I know. This button here, or this console here, is what controls it. It's fucking rad. Check it out. And then he starts doing some fucking cool moves with the giant mutant fucking thing, which is actually just a gigantic animatronic. And then Eriko's like, okay. And then she slowly takes out her baseball bat, and you just knock this fucking guy's head off. And then you take his key card, and that's how you leave.
I will say that guy it was also an animatronic.
Yeah, he was also an animatronic. But like there are actual like workers at the fucking like theme park. Like, you know that big ass doll in the like general store kiosk thing?
Yeah.
Like, it's implied that all the zombies and weird fucking enemies you're seeing, most of them are just normal people or animatronics. But yeah, the fucking, it's really weird because like some workers do give a shit about like customer safety and well-being, and some others just don't give a fuck.
They've been through some shit.
Yeah. Like, there's a level that is basically a giant chase sequence because you're being chased by a fucking giant worm the whole level. Like, you don't.
Okay, before Jake continues, I wanna make this statement very clear. After he escaped that animatronic that you punched the dudes, or that you bat the dude's head off, that's it for me. That's all I played. Haven't touched anything else. I don't know anything else. This is all Jake.
Yeah, okay, so whatever. Do the first level. Next level is you gotta fight a giant worm. I'm pretty sure it's a fucking Tremors reference. But and that level has some dumbass platforming in it too. That level is making me so fucking mad. Because you have to jump across these cars in this like open field, and if you touch the ground, it spawns the giant worm that you literally can't do any damage to. So you just have to fucking leave and then redo the platforming. Beat that level. Level after that is like a fucking spooky ass haunted tree man thing, and all these like dummies that have the souls of like real people in them, and it's fucking weird. and wild, and you get turned into a dummy. Like you get your fucking skin ripped off, and then you get thrown into a blender, and then you get fucking
What the fuck?
turned into a mannequin, and then you got to run away from these fucking animatronic like lumberjacks who are trying to murder you because it's like a fucking sport that they're playing to see who can kill the most amount of fucking animatronic dummies. But they're not actually dummies; they're real customers that got turned into dummies.
It's just karma, bro.
So that level is fucking wild. No, dude, it's so fucking weird because like eventually you fucking find the machine that turns you back. I don't know how you put somebody's skin back on, but okay.
I mean, you put a dog in a blender, now it's your turn to be in a blender.
Yeah, I guess. And then at the end of that level, like there's two construction workers and they're basically just cursing at each other. And then you walk in that room and then they're like, yeah, hold up, the final boss is fucking up. Hold up. We got to fix this shit. And like the final boss's like elevator that it rises up on is like stuck. So you can't fight the giant tree man until they finish maintenance on it. And eventually they do get the elevator unstuck. And then they're both like, oh, okay, cool, great. And then the fucking giant tree animatronic just kills them instantly. And those were not animatronics. Those were absolutely real people. And then you do your boss fight against a giant tree man with a mustache. There's a grocery store level, which is also fucking like, it's so goofy, but there's so much like horrific gore in that fucking level. It's so weird. Like you go into the manager's office and then there's a dude who killed himself and you read his suicide note. And if you didn't mark him, he'll jump scare the shit out of you, which actually got me. And then like there's this weird talking cake monster in the bakery who's like, I need a cake topping. Help me out. And then I go and find a giant strawberry and he's like, no, that's stupid. And then I go and find a smaller cake that he can put on top of his head. And he's like, no, that's stupid. And then I backtrack all the way at the start of the game or level and find a severed human head. And he's like, I love it. And then you put him in your inventory and eat him later.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a full heal. It's pretty good.
With the human head?
Yep. Ask no questions. And then there's a level that's like a fucking murder mystery. Oh, and in addition to that, you're being like, you go to the toy section because it's like a Walmart. And it's like this little horrific fucking Chucky doll girl is like, wants you to play games with her, and then you have to do a bunch of weird ass mini games. There's an entire level that is just a murder mystery. Like there's a reporter and he's like, yeah, I'm writing a report on this Illbleed theme park in blah blah blah, gonna get a hot scoop here. And then somebody's fucking dead. And then you have to fucking solve a murder mystery with a reporter. And at some point the game, halfway through, is like, hey, dear viewer, guess who you think the murderer is? And we'll give you a shit ton of prize money based if you're right or not.
As in you.
Yeah, no, like the game talks to you directly. Like it's so fucking weird and arcane. And then the final level is a fucking Toy Story parody. The entire level.
Pretty sick, actually.
You fucking put on a Woody costume, except it's not Woody, it's Cork. And the entire store, it's like mostly a normal level, but there's like a bunch more cutscenes in it. And it's telling you this Toy Story fucking story. And basically the plot of it, setting it up, is Cork is back from his big adventure in Mexico where he killed an evil cactus. And he comes home and he's ready to chill at his house and be played with like a normal fucking toy, whatever. Except like your human's like, I love you, Cork. You're the best. And he opens the dollhouse or whatever and he's fucking massive and terrifying and scary. And then he goes, you know, Cork, I don't feel so good. And then he starts wigging out and then turns into a zombie and fucking dies.
Okay.
And then Cork's like, well, that was fucking weird. And then your girlfriend's like, hey, how was your trip to Mexico? And it's this like anime figurine in a bikini. And her ass is just fucking massive. And she's like in this fucking bent over pose. And like her ass is like most of the real estate of this little doll.
And that's your girlfriend?
And she's like, hey, Cork, do what?
Wait, is that your girlfriend? Your girlfriend is the figurine? Or wait, what?
Yeah, because he's a fucking doll too.
Right.
So he's like, she's like, hey, come fuck me. And he's like, cool.
But this is, wait, what?
Yeah, she's just like, you can tell me more about your trip to Mexico in bed. And then he's like, hot dog.
Okay, and that's you in a Cork costume, right?
Yeah, but you're reliving the fucking story though.
All right. Jake's like, it's cool.
Well, see, an eldritch being comes out of the ceiling and then forcibly puts the costume on you. So I think it's like controlling your actions throughout all those cutscenes.
It's not me doing missionary.
Like it's a
It's
giant
the eldritch being.
It's a giant eldritch slug that just like vores you, and then when it spits you back out, you're a Woody.
Okay, I will also take this time to just throw this little tidbit out there. The girl you're playing as throughout this entire game is 16 years old.
15, actually.
15, my bad.
Yeah, so anyway, I wasn't done setting up the plot. So the kid fucking died. He had some kind of super disease that fucking killed him. And his mom's like, "Oh, honey, it's okay. I'll bury you with your favorite doll." And then he grabs Cork's girlfriend, who's named Sexy Doll, and then buries her alive with the kid who's dead.
That's his favorite doll.
No, Cork was his favorite doll, but his mom thought Sexy Doll was his favorite doll. So this entire fucking episode is basically like Cork, who is just a fucking parody of Woody, having an existential nightmare and going on a fucking drinking binge on his like dead girlfriend, and now he'll never get laid again, and how much he misses her. And it just like it leads into a bunch of wacky shit, dude. Like there's people making fun of your dead girlfriend at a bar, so you get in a bar fight with them and then kill them, and then you go to jail for murder, and then they're gonna fucking hang you. But it's cool. This other guy in jail tells you, "Oh, don't worry, bro. If you die, you can be with her forever." That's what it says in the Bible. And he's like, "Stick." And then like he hangs him, or he fucking goes to the execution and hangs. But that dude fucking busts him out before he can choke to death. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. You'll go to like Christian hell, not toy hell. You need to go to toy hell to be with your girlfriend again." And he's like, "Shit, bro. Thanks for the save." And then you come up with a scheme to fucking become another kid's favorite toy, and then to kill that kid so that you can get buried with that kid and go meet your girlfriend. And then at the end of the level, you go fight Demon Sonic.
This is a Toy Story 5's plot, just so y'all know.
You got to kill Demon Sonic to get your fucking girlfriend back in hell.
This game sounds fucking insane.
This game is fucking insane. And it's only like 6 hours long, too. Like, I highly recommend if you have the ability to play this game to just play it, because it is fucking nuts.
Is there any other details about this game you want to maybe share?
Okay, so at the end of the game, if you save all your friends, you get the quote-unquote good ending, where you get the prize money for making it through the theme park alive, and you and your friends are chilling in Hawaii and hanging out. And then Eriko stands up and then announces that she's going back to Illbleed, and everybody else is fucking confused. And then the game ends, and then it says, "Hey, new game plus, save over a save file." And you do, and when you reload the save, you start a new game, except you get to keep all your upgrades, because you can upgrade your health and your adrenaline meter and all that shit. And to get the real ending, or true ending, or secret ending, you need to be on a new game plus save and let all your friends die. And what happens when you replay through all the levels without saving your friends is Eriko's clothes get torn up more and more after each level. And like in the intro of the game, Eriko's voice actress announces that she's 18. And I'm like, that's weird, because when you press the pause screen, it has her student ID right there, and it says she's 15. And now I know why they did that for the American release.
Why is that, Jake?
So once you basically get to the end, like last level of the game, to the end game boss, Eriko's clothes have been so fucking torn up, there's literally nothing left except like bits of bandage covering her nips and her privates. And I don't mean like wrapped all the way around her. I mean literally like you took like a couple strips of tape off a tape roller and just slapped them on there.
Jesus. Well,
And the reason why you need to fucking get her clothes off is even dumber. Because at the end of the game, if you beat it, no matter which ending you get, you meet the theme park owner, and he's standing in like announcer's box or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, cool, here's your money, nerd, leave." But if you have all your clothes ripped off, he's like, "Wow, it looks like you need somebody to warm you up." And then he runs down there and then greets you himself.
This man is how old?
I don't. God, I don't want to spoil it, dude.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm definitely not gonna play the new game plus where the 15-year-old gets completely naked.
It's cool. She's 18 in the American release. It's cool.
Jesus.
They just dubbed it over, bro. It's fine.
They dubbed it over. It's cool. No, there's something that makes it way fucking worse too. Like it's so fucking bad.
I feel like we're not gonna play this game
No one's on y'all.
to that extent. To that extent.
I guess whatever. Do you care if I spoil the secret ending of Illbleed?
I don't, Stephanie.
I'm okay with you spoiling it.
To be fair, it's more about the ride than the destination. But yeah, you figure it out. The theme park owner is her dad, which makes sense because at the beginning of the game, she tells her backstory where her dad would set up all these haunted houses and make her test them out. And it desensitized her fucking sense of fear so bad due to the trauma that she just can't feel fear anymore. And then he comes down and he's like, "Oh, hi, daughter. That's awkward." And then, Eriko basically like dumps her fucking trauma on him and then is pissed off. And she's like, "I'm so fucking glad mom left you after you fucking used me as your test dummy for all your fucking stupid horror shit." And she's like, "I just want to get my sense of fear back, but you fucked that up. You fucking took away my ability to be scared." So he sets up a like couple horror attractions specifically just for Eriko. And once you get through those just fine, like Eriko's like, "Is that all you got, you fucking pussy?" And then like she jump scares her dad. And then I guess he gets scared so bad that he turns into an eldritch abomination horror that scares the fuck out of Eriko. And then you have to have a fucking 2-part boss fight where you basically fight an eldritch god.
And that's your dad?
Yep.
Wild.
And then Eriko's just like, "Well, got my sense of fear back. And also I'm even more traumatized because I just killed my dad." And that was Ilby.
I see. Yeah, that game's wild.
No, it's fucking nuts. Like, what a goddamn journey.
All right. I have one last game that I played, and that is Visage. Visage is a game that was very highly influenced by PT, and I would argue it's a game that succeeds in PT's vision. It's kind of terrifying when it wants to be. If you've played PT, you kind of know what it is. Stephanie, both you and Jake have watched me play this game. I actually got it for Brienne so that she could play it. And the way it works is it's set up basically the same way PT is. You're going through the house and you have certain rooms you can go to. But then you activate missions by going to different places. And then it'll be like, "Hey, once you activate this, you won't be able to get out of this until you finish the mission." And Brienne and I did 2 different missions, and they both involve kind of giving you a little bit of the backstory of one of the characters. And you just go around, you're doing puzzles. The visuals are amazing. Sound design is really good. Like, there was one moment where I was doing my mission, and there's a attic access that you can't get to because you don't have a hook to pull the stairs down. But at one point I was like, "Oh, I'll find that eventually." And then I heard footsteps above me, and I could see like little dust come off from wherever the footsteps were going. And so I was like, "Okay, that's terrifying." And also I have to get up there now. I haven't finished it, so I don't want to say too much, but if you're looking for a scary game, definitely one to look at. You guys both also watched me play it, or watched Brienne play it. So I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add.
Not really. Like as I said, it looks like fine, but my patience for fucking walking sims plus puzzle games is not very high.
So yeah, that was video games.
So batter up, Stephanie.
I'm gonna go first. Okay, then. So I'm going to talk about my first movie, which was The Boogeyman. So there is 2 Boogeymans, I guess. There was one that had came out like a long time ago, and I guess this is like the newer one. It was streaming for free, and so I watched it. And basically, it is pretty similar to, I guess, kind of the first Boogeyman a little bit, except it does take the perspective of 2 young girls. And I don't know if people have seen the first one, but it's like an old dude, basically. So you still get to see the house, if you all have seen the movie or not. And you still get to go back there to like see where the room was and everything else. So it kind of connects to the other one, but it kind of doesn't. And it's just like ridiculously wild. Like the dad is a therapist and he has clients that come to his house and his 2 young daughters one of them's like 15 and the other one is like 7. And literally, he just brings clients. And the first client is just like kind of ridiculous. And I just think that's wild to see that. But anyway, so basically, they're on their way to kind of stop the boogeyman, which you never actually really get to see in the first one. In this one, you actually get to see kind of what the boogeyman looks like. So it was interesting. I wouldn't say it was scary. It does have like a final ending, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that's all I got for that.
So if you've never seen the first one, would you recommend watching this one or watching the other one?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Like, they don't really connect. They just use some of the same places. So, like, if you're watching the newer one, you'll be like, oh, wait, that's the same house. But, like, it doesn't tell you anything about him or anything like that.
Yeah, if this is the movie I'm thinking of, I guess like the fucking second one sounds way fucking different from the first one.
Yeah. Also, too, I guess, like, with the first one, the guy, he is older, but also, too, he, like, using coping skills and, like, all this other stuff. It's, like, kind of wild. But anyway, with this one, it's just a lot of crazy shit happening, but I wouldn't say it's, like, scary. Also, too, there's not a lot of jump scares in it as well, so throwing that out there.
Would I get scared?
I think you'd get scared at, like, 2 parts, but that's it. And, like, you wouldn't feel scared at the end of it.
I would scare you when I get scared more than the movie would scare.
Yes, yes.
Well, it doesn't sound too exciting, not gonna lie.
That's fair, that's fair. But Robert, since you thought.
I mean, you sold it pretty hard. Put it on the list.
Well, Jake, what do you got going on?
I watched the first 2 Friday the 13th that I've never seen before. I'm like, have you guys like seen any of the Friday the 13th movies?
I have, but like out of order and not really in a long time ago.
Is that the one with the little girl? I know usually she's in them, at least in the first 3, but is that what you're talking about? Or is this like completely different?
This is the one with Jason.
So definitely different. Oh no.
You don't know who Jason is, Stephanie.
No, I do, but sometimes I get them all confused. So
Okay, so the first 2 Friday the 13th movies, we'll go over the first one. I kind of fuck with this movie. This movie is like slow, it's plotting, it's kind of boring, and not much happens in it.
You're also really selling this, bro.
And I vibe with it. No, because like the deal is like everybody's like they're starting up a fucking summer camp, like at this place called Camp, or place nicknamed Camp Blood, but it's Camp Crystal Lake. And the dude who just like bought the land and is investing a bunch of money and trying to get the summer camp ready has hired a bunch of teenagers / young adults to like show up a couple weeks before the camp's supposed to open and help get it ready and shit. And like for the most part, nothing happens in this fucking movie for like the first couple parts. But like what's weird to me about the first Friday the 13th is I've thought like Friday the 13th was like maybe the trendsetter or like one of the OGs that like had the slasher movie genre down. And like this first movie does not do any of that shit. Like the first movie is the majority of people just get fucking shanked in the stomach or they get their throat slit in a very unceremonious, uncreative way. Like the killer in the first movie is just practical about every single murder. Like what's more efficient than just fucking stabbing a guy with a hunting knife?
Maybe shooting him.
Yeah, I guess they could have used guns too. But like it's also weird because like there's no like dumb horror movie mistakes or like horror movie protagonist mistakes, which is usually what bothers me about a lot of slasher flicks. Most of the people that are making decisions aren't making any stupid decisions in this movie. Like there's a point in time where one of the campers is hitchhiking to the camp, or one of the counselors is hitchhiking to the camp. And then at some point you realize, oh, she's in the car with the murderer or serial killer. And you're seeing this all play out from the serial killer's perspective and like a first person perspective. And then at some point, like they drive right past the exit to go towards the lake. And she's like, hey, that was my stop. You can just let me off here. And she's, no, yeah, here's fine. You can just drop me off right now. And I was like, if that was me, I would jump out of this fucking Jeep, like right now. And then the fucking killer starts speeding up. And then she's like, well, fuck this. And then she literally just dives out of the fucking car. And I was like, okay. And like,
I mean, that's what you do. So
yeah. And like most of this movie, nobody's really aware that there's a killer on the loose. And that's what's weird about these first two movies is nobody knows that there's a serial killer around. People are just getting got without knowing anything about anything. And in the first movie, like when the fucking final girl figures out that there's a killer on the loose, she immediately goes for like the training rifles to teach the campers shooting. Like she immediately goes for the fucking bullets and guns. I'm like, okay. I don't know where the trope of like horror movie protagonists being dumb came from, because it wasn't the first fucking Friday the 13th. They do kill a real life snake in this one though, and I did not like that.
You want to feel even worse about that?
What?
They did not tell the handler of the snake that they were going to kill it, and it was his personal pet.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And so they had to hold him back because he was very upset when he saw what they did.
Yeah, that's like you didn't have to show the snake getting killed. You could have just like cut to somebody putting a machete down, and then that was that. But nope, you see a snake get chopped up into bits. That was fucked up. That was probably the most.
And it's a harmless snake too.
Yeah, no, that's probably the most fucked up thing about the whole movie.
Like, can you imagine someone's like, "Hey, do you want your dog to be in this movie? We'll pay you." And you're like, "Oh yeah, I bet, sure." And then they shoot your dog.
Yeah, it's implied Jason eats a dog in the second movie, so sorry, Skipper. And also it's like weird because like there's not really that many shitty people. Like each movie has like one kinda shitty guy in it. Like there's a kinda racist dude in the first movie that it keeps like doing some not okay, like Native American appropriation shit. And like he bites it and you're like, yeah, okay. In the second movie, there's a guy who just keeps picking on this girl and he gets it and you're like, okay, sure, whatever. But like the rest of them, like nobody had any of this shit coming. Like it's literally just about a fucking murderer getting people for no fucking reason. Like there's a dude in the wheelchair who's about to get his dick sucked and then he gets got, which is just fucking tragic.
Damn. So close.
Yeah, so in the second movie, like another dude decides he wants to reopen the fucking camp because he's a fucking idiot. And that brings a bunch of counselors on grounds. And then like 80% of the counselors go bar hopping while there's just a small group of them left at the camp. And then Jason shows up and starts doing his thing. And one girl stayed behind specifically because she really wants to fuck that guy in a wheelchair. So like they're flirting the whole time. And then at some point she's like, hey, you mind how I ask if you got in that accident or how you got in a fucking wheelchair? And he's like, yeah, motorcycle accident. And he's like, I'm hoping it's just a temporary thing. And she's like, oh, so is your dick still work? And he's like, yeah, duh. And then she's like, cool, let me go get ready. And then the man just gets a fucking machete to the face before he can get his fucking shit off. I'm like, it's goddamn tragic.
What a tragedy, Jake. That truly is.
Did you know Kevin Bacon was in the first movie?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he gets fucking wrecked.
Yeah, I figured.
Like, I didn't even notice it was Kevin Bacon until like I saw a video on it. But
I didn't notice it was Kevin Bacon until that bacon was fried.
Yeah, he just bangs his girlfriend and he's in his bed smoking weed and then he gets fucking shanked with a fucking arrow shaft. But
well, that's efficient.
Yeah, like literally, they're all just people getting stabbed. That's it. I said the most creative kill is that fucking kid getting the fucking machete to the face because he gets a machete to the face at the top of a set of stairs and then he just starts rolling backwards down the stairs and it's kind of fucking funny. Anyway.
So you're gonna watch the next ones?
Probably. I've heard like the first two are bad, but I kind of liked them, so I wonder if I'll be like, well, I didn't really care for 3 or 4. So, what y'all watch?
Speaking of movies from back in the day, there's a movie that's been on my list forever, and we finally got around to watching it. Although we were very, very hungover. We watched The Faculty.
You were hungover, bud.
So were you. Are you denying your hungoverness?
I was really hungover Saturday. Sunday, I was actually doing okay.
Well, you didn't look it.
Well, that's because I didn't sleep.
So, The Faculty, what a gem of a movie. The cast is insane. You got Elijah Wood, you got Usher, you got Jon Stewart. I know their names. Salma Hayek was in it too. What's the other one's name?
You don't fucking know. I knew Elijah Wood, and that was it. And Usher. Sorry.
Well, premise of the movie is there's this weird parasitic worm that shows up and they thrive on water. And so they start taking over humans, starting with the faculty of the school, because our bodies are made up of water and they can kind of survive off the water in our bodies. And it's basically this group of kids trying to stop the invasion from happening. This movie also does the thing where I don't think any of them do anything stupid, with the exception of doing drugs while this is all happening, but they're uppers that dehydrate you really quickly. So it's used as a way to test to see if you are infected or not.
This movie was like kind of fun. It's also like a weird fucking early 2000s time capsule.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I looked at characters in this movie and was just like, yeah, that's Robert.
What do you mean?
There he is. That's what he looked like in high school.
That is not what I looked like in high school.
All right, whatever, man.
It was a fun movie. I'm glad we watched it. If you're looking for a good, cheesy, scary movie, it's a banger.
It's almost not even a scary movie. It's almost like a sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, it's like, I want to say if The Thing was PG-13, but
Yeah, kinda, honestly. It took place in high school.
yeah. Stephanie, you watched another movie?
I did. It's called The Reptile. It's on Netflix. It was actually a pretty good movie. Basically, it's just a detective cop movie, and he just finds out like really crazy shit that's going on at his department, and there are people covering things up, and he has to uncover them. It's a pretty good movie, though.
Is it like, is the shit that he finds out like supernatural sci-fi stuff?
It is not. That's what I had thought too. I was just like, bruh, it's gonna be like reptilian people. It was not. That's not what they're going for.
I'm kind of disappointed, yeah.
Like, what's the angle with calling it reptile then?
You know, I think it is probably just because of like the really cold-hearted shit that happens, and also too like all of the sacrifices that people make of other people on the task force. So it's just wild.
Well, did you like it?
Yeah, most definitely. Also too, I just heard from like other people at my work that they really liked it too, from like varying ages. Do not watch this with your kids. Don't watch it with your kids.
Is this like a new one?
Yeah. It came out this year.
Oh shit, okay. I don't know why I thought it was like an older movie.
Nope. All right, who's over next?
You got a plot synopsis, buddy? Can we dig into this?
I think it's kind of just what I said, unless you want me to go into like exactly, but then also too, I think that would like spoil it a little bit.
All right, fair enough.
Then Jake, I guess you're up.
Damn, that was quick.
Again.
Yeah, that was a fast turnaround. Let's see.
Oh wait. Sorry, one more thing. Justin Timberlake is the bad guy in the movie. Just throwing that out there.
Justin Timberlake is in this movie, and you just
Sorry, I forgot to bring that up. But I'm just letting you know, he is the bad guy, and there's a lot of shit that happens. So
I feel like you could have led with that, to be honest.
yeah. If you would have said Justin Timberlake's in the movie, I'd be like, oh, that's why it's called Reptile.
like,
Okay.
You know, I mean, he's pretty hot right now in the waters. Isn't Britney Spears like dealing out all the tea?
let me tell you, but that is a different conversation for a different podcast. Like, goodness gracious.
I don't got fucking any context or info on this shit.
He, you know what? You're right. We'll talk about that later. What else did you watch, Jake?
All right, I watched a little, I think it's like a British indie movie, maybe, called Caveat. And I know Robert and I have stared at like the trailer for this movie a couple times, but like we just never got around to watching it.
Give us a little. What's it about?
Well, you wouldn't know anything that it's fucking about from the trailer, but the trailer has a fucked up looking toy bunny that beats a drum, and I was like, that looks neat. But the simple plot of this movie is there's a dude with amnesia because he's gotten an accident a while ago, and his homie is like, hey man, I was gonna ask you to do a thing for me, but you know, your accident happened. Glad to know you're feeling better. If you could still do me this solid, I'd greatly appreciate it, and I'd pay you a shit ton of money. And then the guy with amnesia is like, yeah, okay, what's the job? He's like, I need you to go hang out with my sister-in-law.
No.
Or niece. I think it's niece, yeah.
No. That sounds sus as fuck.
Because she's mentally ill, and her parents are gone, and she likes hanging out at their fucking old, like, fucking lake house, and I can't fucking stand her.
Well, that's a little rude.
And then the guy with amnesia is like, yeah, okay, fuck it. You said we're homies. So they drive there, and then the guy was napping the whole time, and then he wakes up, and his friend's like, yeah, we're here, bro. And he's like, where's the fucking house? And he's like, oh, it's on that island in the middle of this lake. And he's like, bruh. He's like, you know, I don't remember a lot, but I do remember that I can't fucking swim. And he's like, well, yeah, that's why we have a boat, dumbass. Now you're gonna fucking help me out or nah? So they fucking take the boat, go to the island, and he's like, okay, yeah, just here's all the shit. blah blah blah. Here's where this is. She has these like tics where like she'll cover her eyes and go in the fetal position, and like you just have to deal with it. She can't hear anything. She can't see anything. She won't respond to you in any way while she's in one of her moods. One little thing though, she really does not like people coming into her room. So I need you to put this on. And he pulls out like a BDSM fucking leather chest harness.
Out.
And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, so her grandma used to fucking sleepwalk. So to prevent her from walking out into the middle of the woods or walking into the lake or whatever, they would have this little chain that runs from this little BDSM device all the way to the basement. I need you to put this on because due to previous trauma, she just does not want people in her fucking room. And this will prevent you from going into her room.
And this dude is just chill with all this?
Well, like, it's clear that, like, he kind of doesn't really know what the fuck is going on because, you know, he just got out of the fucking hospital with amnesia due to head trauma. So, like, he's, like, not down for any of this, but also is, like, susceptible to, like, peer pressure, I guess. So after, like, getting yelled at, basically, he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll put it on, whatever. And then, yeah, he puts it on. And now he's stuck in a house with this crazy lady, and he can't get this fucking chest harness off until his homie comes back a week later.
Can he, like, reach the kitchen or whatever?
He can reach most of the house except for her bedroom and the bathroom. He also can't leave the house.
Wait. Like, and so he can't use the bathroom the whole time?
No, he just opens up the back door and just pisses out the back door. Kind of nostalgic, to be honest.
Man doesn't need a shit, I guess.
Like, the movie never goes over that. But this movie is quite thrilling. And
all right, I don't want to hear any more plot, but is it worth?
Yeah, I liked it. I had a good time with it because, like, you learn shit about the house and shit that's going on with the dude with amnesia, and the movie doesn't really spell out everything that's happening. It's pretty easy to piece together. Like, it's not like a movie where I didn't understand what the fuck happened. Like, I
didn't need to watch explained and like.
No, I didn't need to watch a fucking explained or a fucking retrospective or review or whatever. Like, I had a pretty good idea of what actually happened in this fucking movie. So it's a neat little mystery thriller type deal. And I don't know if you have like a phobia of being chained to shit or claustrophobia, maybe this movie will fucking give you a spook.
I don't think that's a phobia. I just think like being chained to something is not something that one should normally be or will ever in a normal situation be.
I know there's some like spooky shit towards the end of the movie that like it was spooky, but it was like spooky in a really fucking funny way that had me laughing. Because like the whole movie, like if you're the type of guy who just likes to sit and watch a movie and say, nope, fuck that, the entire movie, that's basically what this movie is. Congrats, that's where the name Caveat comes from. It's just one little thing after the other. Hey, homie, go watch my niece. Oh, hey, homie, she's mentally ill. Hey, homie, it's in a lake house. Hey, homie, I need you to wear this fucking BDSM harness. Okay, bye.
I mean.
It was a pretty fun movie. Yeah. It's not long. Right. I think it was like an hour and like 15 minutes. But yeah, that was Caveat. So what y'all got?
I watched a movie I think it's called No One Will Save You. I believe. I'm not gonna waste anyone's time with this one.
But it looked interesting. What? I wanted to watch it, but
hear me out. So, right off the bat, I'm gonna say I didn't like the ending. Like, I liked what it did visually. Like, I thought that was cool. But like just the plot, and it's because it does such a good build up. Like the beginning of this movie, within like the first couple of minutes, I was like so hooked, and it was just so good. Like like it shows, doesn't tell you. It's not like you said with that other movie. It doesn't spell things out for you, but it's very easy to understand what happened just based on interactions. It's the basic premise of this movie is there is a young woman. She lives in this house, a beautiful house in a small town, and you can tell that she is very much a lonely person. Not lonely as in like she feels lonely, but well, that too. She doesn't really have any friends or family members or anyone around. and she's very wary of everyone else around the town and tries to not be seen. And God, she just sells that role so hard because it's not that she's awkward or anything. It's that, like, obviously something happened and the movie will get into that. But just the whole, I thought I put on the wrong movie at first because I watched the trailer and I was like, oh shit, this isn't that. But basic premise, she's doing her thing. And then in the middle of the night, she hears something like a break-in. She goes to investigate, quickly realizes that whatever broke in is not human, and goes to hide in her room. And then the movie is about that, I guess. To not, I'm pretty sure you guys. Do you guys already know what the bad thing is?
No, I haven't seen anything on this movie.
Okay.
Aliens. Oh wait, no.
Dude. Well, there you have it, Jake.
Wow. And after I went through not spoiling caveat.
Okay, it's I mean, that's not really a spoiler. Like, if you watched any of the trailers, like, the trailers are literally, it starts off and it says 1 in 14 homes or something are broken into every day, yada yada yada. And it shows her, like, hearing the break-in thing. And then it's like just talking about, like, these statistics of break-ins. And then it's like, this is not one of them. And then you see that it's like an alien. Like I said, all that's done very well. Even the whole, these aliens start taking over the town and everything, and what she does to, like, combat that. Great movie. All that's really good. And maybe you guys will like the ending. I just felt like I didn't expect it to go that way. And what I will give this movie, though, is that it commits to itself. So I do respect it for that. Like, it doesn't feel like a cop-out. It just feels like that's not what I wanted. And it also, now that I remember, there are some things that I don't know what exactly fucking happened. Like, I'm sure if I sat down and watched it again, or if I looked up some explanations, because, like I said, it doesn't spell anything out for you. But I wasn't bored at all, and I was entertained throughout. It's just literally at the very end, I was like, oh, this is, I mean, I guess if we're gonna end it like this. And like I said, even that last piece, it is very visually pleasing. It just, I don't know, didn't do it for me.
I'm sure they'll put that on the back of the rock fucking DVD box.
I mean, it's on Hulu. It's a Hulu original, and
Didn't do it for Rob. Backlog Boat, 2023.
it becomes a cult classic. Everyone's like, bro.
Yeah, it turns out you're just fucking stupid.
No, and like I said, I really enjoyed the whole rest of the movie. And I even like that part visually. It's just, you'd have to see it to see it, to get it, I guess.
I know my faith in Hulu originals isn't like that high, so I guess my fucking barrier of entries or like expectations are pretty low.
Then you might really like it. All right, that was No One Will Save You. Since we're mixing up our shows and movies, Stephanie, you watched some shows?
Wait, isn't it Jake's turn?
Well, because
We're gonna weave them in and out because like I didn't watch any fucking shows, dude. It's all movies.
see, I got 3. Actually, yeah, you don't have that much. Jake, go again.
Well, shit. I watched a movie called Mandy. I fucking love this movie. Like, this movie is metal as fuck, bro.
I tried watching it.
Fuck happened.
I tried watching it in the background, and I looked down for 1 second.
Nope. Nope.
And looked up. And I was like, I can't do that with this movie. I have to
Literally, as I was watching this movie, I was like, I'm so glad I'm watching this movie by myself. Because if I was watching it with Robert or my sister, I would fucking strangle them as soon as they open their fucking mouth. Like, I was so fucking immersed in this goddamn film.
Have you heard of Mandy, Stephanie?
No, I haven't.
I think it was like a Shudder original. I think.
So tell us what it's about, Jake,
So,
without spoiling it.
Mandy is a film starring Nicolas Cage. And he plays like a lumberjack somewhere in like the Pacific Northwest. Basically, tries to live a quiet life in his quiet little house with his weird hippie metal girlfriend. And then something comes along and disturbs that fucking peace. And this movie is basically shot like a journey to hell, is the best way I could describe it. Like, the first half of this movie is just like kind of quiet and beautiful and like soft and has all these like light tones to it. And it creates this like really comfy fucking vibe. Like the relationship Nicolas Cage's character has with his girlfriend Mandy is fucking adorable and cozy. And you can tell that they like have real good chemistry on screen, and it makes that relationship like look and feel so real. And like the dreamlike editing and sound design and directing just makes that like cozy feeling even more impactful for the first half of this movie. Like it's just Cage working hard so he can come home and hang out with his girlfriend. And she's like a weird stoner hippie chick that's like just weird enough to be not like too weird, but like interesting. Because she likes to draw, she likes to read, she fucking has all this weird introspective hippie stoner shit that she says all the time. And she has like a kind of unique look to her. Like, I don't know if she's like wearing makeup or that's just what the actress looks like. But she almost looks like a fucking skeleton, to be honest. She's like super duper pale. She's like got heterochromia. Her eyes are different colors. And she's got this like weird scar across one eye. And she has like a neat aesthetic to her with her little metal vibe. And then, as I said, something interrupts that piece. And then this movie basically takes you on a journey throughout hell. I feel like that is the visual metaphor they're going for, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But it feels like as the story goes, this movie is getting darker and more fucked and going to a unholy and wrong place.
So kind of like all those haunted or cursed versions of games where slowly something's off and then it keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, kinda. And like the metal soundtrack that this fucking movie has just like manages to like iterate or like reinforce that idea the whole time. Like it almost feels like this movie is a metal album that needed visuals to it.
Okay.
Like it feels so fucking good. And then it's got Cage. So it's got Cage's isms. There's a moment where he's just freaking the fuck out in his bathroom and he's just like pounding, rubbing alcohol, just chugging it while freaking the fuck out in his underwear in his bathroom. And it's fucking beautiful.
I think beautiful is a word to use for that specific scene, but
like, and it goes on too long, dude. Like he's in that bathroom drinking that rubbing alcohol for like fucking, I know it's not like 15 minutes, but it feels like 15 fucking minutes.
So this isn't a movie you want to be watching and then your parents come in the middle of it and be like, what are you watching?
No. If you watch it at night, lights off, by yourself, or if you're going to watch it with people, make sure they don't talk during fucking movies. And you just want to let the movie take you on an experience, bro. Like, it might be my favorite movie that I've watched so far this year.
Okay, high praise and definitely a sell. Like I said, I was going to watch this and then I just realized that I had to pay attention to it. So I was like, okay, no. Don't have the time right now for this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Cage fucking kills it, bro. Because he's, like, really good at just playing, like, the quiet straight man until he fucking snaps. And there's also, like, just a bunch of dumbass Cage one-liners in this movie, but they're not, like, unfitting. Like, they're delivered in almost, like, a sad way, where, like, you almost, like at some point he's like, rip my favorite shirt. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he can elicit aw from me.
Like, oh, I fucking love this movie. But, yeah. Go on a rock and roll / metal journey and watch Mandy.
I mean, like I said, I definitely do want to. I watched the movie that I think everyone is gonna really enjoy. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. It just and it's solid. It just feels like detention light. It feels like detention made for people who aren't fucking insane and like weird fucking shit. I watched a movie called Totally Killer. And this movie is, I mean, okay, I do really like it. I actually loved it. I'm just caught up on the whole tension, committed to more things. It's kind of a love story to the 80s, both in terms of slasher movies and time travel. So you got the Scream thing going on. 30 years ago, there was this killer called the Sweet 16 Killer, and he's got a mask that gives like a really vaporwave kind of feel, but is also scary. Like it looks cool, but it also like it makes for a good costume. I think they nailed that part. The whole like people would want to dress up as like Scream is a classic costume. I guess Ghostface. This guy also pulls off a very cool aesthetic.
I mean, I saw the thumbnail of this movie on Amazon Prime a whole lot. He kind of looked like he had a Max Headroom thing going on.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, like an 80s kind of vibe. And basically, this dude went on a killing spree 30 years ago, stabbed his victim 16 times, hence why he's called the Sweet 16 Killer. And it's now the present, and the main character, she's mad at her mom, doing whatever, wants to go off and do something. She goes, and while she's gone, her dad's gone with her. So mom's left all alone. Serial killer strikes again, kills the mom, like all these years later. And it's like sad. Then they do the thing, and this is why I'm comparing it to Detention. Because you know how Detention introduces the time machine? It's literally a dude going like, "Oh yeah, I'm making a time machine as a project." Same vibe. This girl is literally like, "Oh hey, check it out. I'm making this time machine, and I almost have it fixed." And in the midst of them being upset at the death of her mom and all this, obviously the serial killer goes after her. And while she's doing the whole running away thing, she ends up in the time machine and boom, gets sent to the past. And we have she is now going to try to stop the killer before he kills these people. That's pretty much all you need to know in case you want to watch this. It is a really fun movie. And like I said, it's like if someone took out all the bullshit from Detention and made it a movie for normal people. So I think it's an easy like movie.
So what's the vibe? Is it silly or is it played pretty straight?
It's pretty silly. Like I would say it's in between Scream and Scary Movie, like right in the middle.
So what you're saying is kind of like Freaky, which I also rewatched this Halloween. That vibe.
Yeah. It's literally like Freaky. That's the Vince Vaughn one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If you liked Freaky, you're gonna like this movie. Like you know what you're going in for. It's gonna be a fun ride, fun time. Enough jokes, enough intrigue, enough good plot. It's solid. Fun Halloween movie, or even just a fun movie to watch. Because like I said, it's very much self-referential in what it's referencing. Like the way this girl tries to fucking explain to people what her situation is, she literally goes up and she's like, "Have you seen Back to the Future?" And that's how. Like people are like, "Nah, but I really need to watch it." And she's like, "Ah, shit, you're not gonna get it." And then someone's like, "Yeah, I've seen it." And she's like, "Perfect. That's what's happening to me." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, fun movie. Definitely recommend."
Well,
Stephanie, it is time to talk about a TV show.
All right, sounds good. So I watched the new Netflix series, The Fall of the House of Usher. So this is based off a short story from Edgar Allan Poe. And honestly, for being a short story and them like making this into like 8 episodes of varying lengths, I was like really impressed. Like there is a lot of stuff that's like kind of corny, kind of cheesy, but I would definitely say that it does have a lot of dark features to it, and there's just a lot of crazy shit that happens. If you don't like monkeys, don't watch it. So, just gonna throw that out there. But also too, there are other, I guess, like elements of Edgar Allan Poe. So there are a lot of different like mentions of other poems, or also too even other short stories. And I thought that was really cool too. So it's a really good show. I think also too.
When you say, oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I think for both of you, actually, it'll be really interesting because you both have like sisters. So just throwing that out there.
So when you say if you don't like monkeys, don't watch this, are we talking like a fuck, I forgot what his new movie was called. Jordan Peele's.
Oh, not Nope. Or was it Nope? Yeah, it is, right?
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is Nope. It is Nope. Yeah. Are we talking like that situation, or is it worse?
It's about the same, honestly. So just throwing that out there.
And this is made by the same dude, right? Forgot his name. Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, the dude that made The Haunting of Hill House, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, same dude.
I am actually super excited to watch this. I really wanted to, and I probably was going to, but instead I was like, you know what? Stephanie's right. I always do this. I'll just watch the same stuff I'll let her have this one, and then I'll go in.
Y'all could have watched it at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, but she had started it, and I mean, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but I had started Goosebumps, so I think we just like we were both a couple episodes deep. Why not just we'll swap, we'll swap. Does it follow like the story?
Yes and no. So, like, technically, right, the short story isn't that long for one, and also two, I don't remember it, like, completely, but it is basically, like, the illusion of, like, death will take you no matter what. And also two, it still has the narrators as well from the short story, so it's still the same too. But also, they do a really cool thing where there's another person involved to actually tell the story of what happened.
All right, and is this already over? Like, is it all out?
Yeah, it all came out at once. 8 episodes.
Not gonna lie, the only Edgar Allan Poe thing I've read is Telltale Heart. That's it.
Funny. Robert was just talking about that.
Well, I had to read it for school. I don't remember when.
I got into Edgar Allan Poe for all the goth bitches.
How'd that work out for you?
Got no bitches, bro.
Shame. Well, now you know better than to
But I have Edgar Allan Poe books.
read poetry just to get women.
Nah, I was just reading the wrong poetry.
Okay. Does Gerard Way have a poetry book?
Gerard Way has a comic book.
Close enough.
That's cooler. Jake, have you watched any of his other stuff yet or no?
Gerard Way's?
No. Mike Flanagan, Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, any of those?
Nope.
You should. They're really good.
Probably. Probably watch Midnight Mass because it's got fucking Tom Holland in it.
No, it doesn't.
Actually, I'm thinking Devil all the time. Never mind.
Yeah, and that's just a movie.
Yo, fuck Mike Flanagan. Nope. Just gonna watch Devil all the time.
I was about to say that was a good movie of all time. It was wild as fuck.
That is also a really good movie, though. Yeah, similar vibes, kind of, until they're not. But anyway, all right. I guess that's the Fall of the House of Usher. Unless you have anything else you want to add about it,
Nope.
Jake, it's your turn.
Do we want to talk about Hellraiser? Is
It's up to you.
that a conversation we want to have? Do we just want to talk about that goopy, messy, moist boy?
That movie's kind of wild. Like I had seen
That movie's fucking nuts, dude.
I had seen Hellraiser, I think 2 before that. And I was like, they're just kind of movies about sex and torture and all that nonsense. And I mean, they kind of are.
kind of.
Stephanie, you've seen Hellraiser, right?
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
I guess I would consider it a cult classic if I'm being completely honest. And it's referenced in a lot of different other like horror movies. So it's pretty unique.
It's definitely unique.
Did you like it?
I mean, is this something that I'm like, oh dang, every Halloween I'm gonna watch that? Probably not, but you never get bored, I guess.
There are a lot of things to appreciate in Hellraiser. I will give it that. It fucking goes. It doesn't it's not, it doesn't wait for you to.
Yeah, I did actually quite like this movie. I thought the pacing in this movie fucking ruled. Because it's literally just like, he's in some foreign country, and now he's home, and now he's jerking off. And I'm like, whoa, it's only been fucking 10 seconds.
And the practical effects.
And now he's dead. And I'm like, damn.
The practical effects are to be applauded.
Yeah, this movie made me very uncomfortable. Like, I don't even know how they did most of the shit that they did. I'm kind of impressed, but also I couldn't, like, really watch what was happening on screen because it grossed me out too much.
I mean, I imagine that it's filmed and then played in reverse.
Yeah, but still, like, when the man is, like, crawling and coming up.
I like how it introduced so many ideas because it's like, okay, you got the cube, and the cube is rad. Like, I don't care what anyone says. That's dope. It's a really cool way to. It's not a book. It's not a spell. It's a fucking weird puzzle thing that is cool.
The puzzle box.
Yeah. And then you have all these very uniquely created different monsters. Like, I remember when I was younger, I thought Pinhead was Hellraiser. And, like, I didn't know that they all had names. The Xenobites?
Cenobites.
Oh, yeah. This movie is, like, 100% what, this is a horror movie for adults. And I think horror movies used to be that. Like, horror movie was like, oh, this isn't for kids. And as we've, like, advanced, You've gotten Hollywood trying to make a lot of PG-13 movies because they sell more tickets, thrillers and slashers that are going to get like teenagers in or whatever. Whoever the fuck made Hellraiser was not like, he did not care about reaching a specific audience. He had a story he wanted to tell,
I mean,
and he
Clive
committed to
Barker?
it. Yeah. Did he write it?
Yeah, he wrote the book. It was a book originally.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was it didn't cater to anyone. It's just, this is the story I want to tell. And I don't know how, because I don't really remember the sequel. And isn't there like a bunch of these movies?
They apparently get milked to death pretty hard after 2 or 3.
Well, yeah, like Stephanie said, I do. Like, if next Halloween you're like, oh, why don't we put on Hellraiser? I'd be like, nah. Unless someone here hasn't seen it, then nah. I'm not rewatching that.
Yeah, I don't think I want to rewatch this movie anytime soon.
Yeah.
But like, I do appreciate this movie. I did like it. I do like that it's a weird romantic horror thriller thing about David Bowie if he was a woman and less hot trying to fuck some dude's brother.
So not David Bowie.
So not David Bowie. I don't know, dude. She's like, she looks exactly like David Bowie if he was gender bent, but like that makes it less beautiful.
Are you saying the gender bent people are less beautiful?
I'm saying she is not as beautiful as David Bowie.
That's fair. Hellraiser, woo!
Hellraiser, bro. How far would you go for good dick?
Yeah, it's
This is basically what the movie's about. How many people would you kill for that righteous dick, for the best dick you've ever had in your life?
also, Stephanie, I don't know if you remember this in the movie because you probably haven't seen it in a long time. But let me ask you a question because, I know nothing of the female gaze, apparently. This man seems like a typical bad boy. And when he first, the scene where, like, it's trying to show, like, damn, this dude is hot and he knows how to fuck. The first thing he does is he goes to make out with her, but he goes directly for her chin and starts, like, open mouthing, kissing her chin wildly.
Yeah, he like bites her chin. I was like, is this like a weird 80s thing?
Is that what the ladies are into?
I am sorry, but like, who would be into that? Who was like, damn.
I don't know. He did that, and then she was like, "Let me raise you from the dead." So,
Bruh, that's not even like a mainstream kink. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
And he's like, there's no like, it's just like raw aggression. Like, it feels like an assault, to be honest. Like, there's no romance in what's happening here. And I guess that's her cup of tea.
all right. Well, I guess that was Hellraiser. Unless you have something else to add on it, Jake.
Nope, he's just a moist, goopy boy. He's so wet. He's just so fucking squishy. Like, that shit was gross. He's just sitting there in fucking khakis and a button up, just fucking destroying the laundry.
Jake's like, I have nothing further to add, but also let me describe this man's anatomy. And
Just a soggy little boy.
God, I just keep seeing him.
He's so fucking moist, dude.
For the modern people that have never even heard of this movie, this dude looks like in which Avengers is it when Michael Fassbender finally is like turning into, I forgot his fucking name.
Red Skull?
No, the fucking the Ultron one. Vision, that's his name.
Oh.
When Vision is being like formed and you can see like just his nerves and muscles and all that. Imagine that, but like even grosser.
Yeah, like he's looking like he's having a rough time.
It's pretty bad. And we're gonna go from Hellraiser straight to a little show that we've all seen called Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah, I need to rewatch this. I don't remember shit about it.
What the fuck?
I was very drunk when I watched this show. I remember the pumpkin episode with the pumpkin patch shit, and I remember the boat.
That is wild. Well, I was gonna say there's not much to say because it's really short. It's the cutest little show you've ever seen. The music is amazing. It's genuinely scary. The cast is also incredible.
Elijah Wood running back.
And Christopher Lloyd. But it's just such a treat. Like, I think we watched it 2 Halloweens in a row now, Stephanie. Maybe more.
Yeah.
It's just really fun, really cute. and they're 10-minute episodes, and there's only 10 of them, so it's really like a short movie. Go watch this with whoever.
Too long, bro. 10-minute episodes, bro. Don't have the time.
Go watch it with your parents. Watch it with your kids. Watch it with your friends, nieces, nephews. It's a fun time. Stephanie, did you watch other shows?
I did. I watched the Murdoch Murders. It's another series that's on Netflix. I don't know if you all have like heard about that or not.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, actually.
All right then. So basically, it's about this like really wealthy family that is like a family of attorneys, and they've been attorneys since like the 1800s, and that is just bananas. And I guess they're like in South Carolina, and basically it starts off with like one of the kids basically killing somebody. He ends up killing one of his friends because they get into like a boating accident, and it's just like wild because he basically gets off like without any charges against him, and it's wild.
I thought you were going somewhere different there.
No, no. And so that's like the first thing, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes more relevant because I guess the dad ends up killing the son that killed somebody and then killing his wife. And I guess there were other murders kind of in between that where like they killed the maid and all of this other stuff. And since they were attorneys and they were the one of the only attorney offices like in that town, like nobody would go against them. So regardless of whatever came up, like nobody, I guess, like challenged their power. But it turns out that I guess the dad was like money laundering and then also too money extorting. And so basically he was like taking all of the money out of that firm. And so he ends up getting caught. And so that's why he tries to kill his wife and his son to get like a settlement for the insurance. And it's just bananas because he's like, oh no, I wasn't there like when they had got shot. But he had to shoot one of them, and I guess there is another person that they think is involved. And so the dad was convicted, but it was just like it's wild. And the only reason why I tell you like what happened is because again it all came out. And also too you could watch like literally a YouTube video on it. That's only like 21 minutes long instead of the 4 episodes that are on it.
I was about to say, because that last part you said sounded real familiar. So this is real.
Yeah, this is like a real thing. This is based off of a real case.
Damn.
Well,
Oh, so it's not like a documentary. It's like it's just them like reenacting it.
Oh, so it's both. So it's like a docu-series. So they did reenact like some of the like parts, right? Because of course they didn't know like the maid thing that happened like way before, but you can see kind of what happened. So it's kind of like one of those true crime documentaries or whatever. So there's reenactment, but also too there is like real stuff and real footage. Since like the kid was still in high school, they use like Snapchat a lot and kind of what happened during that time. And then also too, right, they show you what could have happened with her basically like flying off of the boat and her dying. It's bananas.
Okay. Hold on. That brings up a very serious question. They use Snapchat footage?
Yes.
Isn't Snapchat supposed to like?
Delete?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess maybe it was like on their stories. I'm not too sure. I don't use Snapchat, but they said like right before it, like, hey, this is from their Snapchat or whatever.
Robert, the government has your dick pics. Like, let's get past that right now.
I'm gonna take the Robert off and just name this episode "The Government Has Your Dick Pics."
Okay.
I don't want to make it too personal. Well, that's wild. Do you think the show is worth it, or do you think that like you said, we could just watch a YouTube video to get the whole story?
I think the way that like Netflix framed it was definitely to get you hooked because again, it had like a season 1 which was about the son and everything that happened, and then season 2 was about the dad. So, I think there are a lot of points where they try to build suspense. So like honestly just watching
A YouTube video.
might be a little bit easier, but it was interesting.
They're doing that storyteller thing where they want you to be like, "Oh, hey, look,
Mhm.
who could it be?" Cuts a commercial. Jake,
What's up?
what else did you watch?
Do I want to talk about Renfield?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Hey, you want to talk about Saw?
All right. Did you watch the first one?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, 'cause if this is about Saw 10, fuck out of here. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, this movie fucking sucks.
What the fuck?
This movie's fucking dog shit.
I am. You know what? Carry on.
So I never watched any of the Saw movies because they scared the shit out of me as a kid for some reason. Like the cover just creeped me the fuck out. Probably because it was a fucking severed foot or whatever. And the thought of like people dying in horrific fucking traps was spooky. And then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, one, this is very tame. Two, the editing in this movie is out of fucking control. Like, what the fuck was James Wan thinking?
Okay, so that might not have aged well because I don't.
No, it
remember,
aged like ass, bro. This shit looks like a fucking drowning pool fucking music video. Like this fucking this is a music video for fucking Trapped, bro. This is a music video for fucking Disturbed. Like this fucking movie looks like shit.
Continue.
Everything's got this fucking green filter on it. The acting is kind of dog shit, especially for the fucking photographer. Like it's like there's like weird bits of like comedy where they try to do something funny, I think maybe, but it's not funny like at all. So if there is intentional comedy in this movie, all the jokes fall flat. As I said, I've like the editing is like over dramatic and so fucking intrusive that I can't get immersed in this film whatsoever. And like everything about this movie is so much more tame and not really spooky or any kind of scary. And additionally, I think the mystery is like dumb. Like I feel like that twist ending was like the best part of the film. And I feel like that might be why people like this fucking movie.
I think maybe you need to watch the second one.
I feel like most of this movie's fucking stupid.
Because the first 3-4 movies are like a cat and mouse detective versus serial killer, really good story. And I don't remember there being jokes in the first one. So, but like as soon as you said the editing is terrible in it, I just had a flashback, but it wasn't a flashback to the movie. It was a flashback to the "you wouldn't steal a car" commercial.
That's literally the vibe.
Yeah, and I was like, ah, shit, that's probably it. But I remember loving this movie and thinking it's great. I was probably too young to understand bad acting, so I don't know if that guy did a good job or not. But the second movie definitely focuses more on the cop or detective serial killer thing. And God, now I have to rewatch this because I genuinely want to defend this movie. But your first point probably tracks.
Dude, honestly, if this movie was just about the two dudes locked in a fucking bathroom and like literally that was it, this movie would be so much fucking better.
They have to do a lot of build up for the next movies though.
Yeah, but like I feel like once they're trying to explain everything around the situation, it gets dumb and not that interesting. Like I don't really care about the fucking cat mouse cop shit. I think it's dumb.
Well, I mean, if you don't like that, then like obviously these aren't the movies for you. Don't worry. After like the 5th or 6th one, they become, oh hey, gross traps that show a lot of gore.
Like I ain't even there for that either, but all the traps in this fucking movie are super tame too.
Yeah, it's the first one, bro.
Like yeah, there's the bear trap, which nobody gets murdered by the bear trap. Like a lady has to stab a dude to death and take a key out of his stomach to get out of the bear trap, but that's about it. A dude just gets lit on fire. That's not very interesting because his body's covered in like oil or whatever, and he is in a dark room and only has a candle for light.
You didn't think that the one where the dude has to crawl through the spikes?
You mean crawl through a fucking razor wire?
Yeah, that stuff.
No, I mean, it was like, okay, sure, whatever.
Stephanie, what are your thoughts on the first Saw movie?
Honestly, when I saw it, I thought it was pretty okay. I thought it was like wild in the end. I'm being completely honest. But I guess also too, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember. Like it really could be really terrible acting. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. Or I could just not and keep my memories.
Not just ruined your childhood. Dog ass movie. Don't watch it.
That's so sad.
That I can't enjoy the first Saw movie because I think it's dumb.
No, that like maybe it didn't hold up and I'm holding on to what I built it up to be and not what it actually is.
So like Malignant, good movie. Love that movie. Great movie. Saw, piece of shit. I'm glad James Wan got better at making films.
So I watched a show called Goosebumps, and the show's really fucking good. It's really fun. I feel like it was written for people that read the original Goosebumps books. It's instead of it being individual episodes, it made a big long arc that incorporates a lot of the different books, and it's really fun. It's really nostalgic. The music is just impeccable music choice. Um, you know, Justin Long is doing Justin Long the best way he knows how, and it rules. There's not much else to say without spoilers. Even the episode titles are kind of spoilers because they tell you basically what's going to happen in the episode if you've read the books. But if you like Goosebumps, if you like Justin Long, if you like spooky but not scary, because like it's not scary. This isn't like you're not gonna get jump scared. You're not gonna be like, oh man, I'm thinking about this when I'm alone in the dark. It's just spooky. It's very like I could watch this with Aiden and he wouldn't freak out. So it's just a fun show.
I was actually mildly interested in that, so I'll probably put it on the list. I have like a weird sense of nostalgia for the OG Goosebumps, even though some of them did actually scare the shit out of me when I was a kid.
No, yeah, okay. So the OG Goosebumps is scarier than this show.
I figured some of the shit in the OG Goosebumps is absolutely fucked. Like, you remember when that chick steps on a fucking rusty nail? Like, that fucked me up.
Bro, there's a lot of stuff.
Remember when that kid time travel aborts his sister out of existence?
Yep. Hey, she was kind of a bitch, so what are you gonna do?
I
Not
guess.
parents' favorite anymore.
Remember when that kid took a trip to South America and it turned out his fucking aunt was like a witch the whole fucking time?
Bro, like if you go down that route, it gets wilder and wilder.
Yeah, I kind of just want to like acquire a bunch of them and just go down the list, to be honest.
See,
They used to be on Netflix, but I don't think they are anymore.
I think that I'm really sad because they're doing a reprint of the books, like the classic ones, but they got a new artist.
That shit's so iconic, but I get it. But it's so
No,
iconic.
for real. Yeah. And like it's not that they look bad, it's just that it's not the same. And
Yeah,
I'm
because they all
like,
had this
man,
like weird. It was like the '80s, '90s transition of horror, or was it '70s, '80s? I don't know. It might have been like an homage to like '70s horror, but they all had that like kind of fucking practical effect vibe to them,
yeah.
almost like they were parodying like '70s horror novels.
Yeah. Now it's computer drawn, so it's just not the same. But yeah, Goosebumps, fun for all ages. Go watch it. I'm sure if we start talking about the books, that's going to go on for far too long because those books are a staple of all of our childhoods.
Stephanie, what's your favorite Goosebumps book?
Out of all of them,
Yes.
I really did like Say Cheese and Die. We were just talking about that not too long ago, but I guess the dummy one, that one just ugh.
It just slaps.
Good one. I think my favorite's probably Cuckoo Clock of Doom. It's the only time travel story I've really liked ever out of any kind of piece of media. The only one I think is good.
It was a good one.
See, I know he's lying because he has shown me time travel stuff that he likes.
You know, when he goes back in time and then he's like, oh no, this is when I broke my arm, and then he has to break his arm again and it hurts like a motherfucker. And I'm like, that's good horror writing right there.
I mean, yeah.
Let me send you back in time to that time you pissed yourself in front of your fucking third grade classroom.
I'd rather do that than break my arm, to be honest with you.
I'd rather break my arm.
That's a lot. 100%.
You don't know me, bro.
I know you. There's no way. There's no way anyone. Because in third grade? Bro, I don't give a fuck. I'll take a shit too.
All right, let me phrase that high school. Remember the time you shit yourself in high school, Rob?
Oh, what the heck just happened?
I don't know. Maybe Robert muted himself.
Oh, damn it. I did.
Stupid ass.
So you didn't hear me say that?
No.
That's fine. That's probably for the best.
Dumbass.
Okay. I think my favorite books were actually the Choose Your Own Adventure Goosebumps one.
Fucking cop out.
No, because
this podcast. Throw them out of here.
They were already the stories. Like they were already stories that had their book that went a certain way. But then you could literally change what happens. I thought that was cool.
I also like have a weird fond memory of like the Monster Blood series, like 1 and 2. This Play-Doh will eat you. Ooh. It's honestly just a gelatinous cube from D&D, but it's still fun.
So Goosebumps, 10 out of 10. It always hits. I think, yeah, just YouTube now. Stephanie, do you want to start off with the spookies?
No, for YouTube? What we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Yeah, so I watched the new Jack in the Box commercial, and it's pretty freaking amazing, not gonna lie. It has that heartfelt stuff, but also too that really scary shit. And you still get to see Jack. So that was like the best thing ever.
Stephanie,
Jack is still in there.
did you just shill a fast food company without us getting a fucking sponsorship? Did you just fucking give free advertising?
It's true. I'm sorry.
Jake, have you not watched this?
No. This is money on the fucking table, boys. What are we doing here?
I don't know, because it was advertising free tacos. So
Well, I guess I got to start eating meat again.
Free monster tacos.
it's a really fun commercial because I was just talking about how I was rewatching a bunch of Halloween commercials from like the 90s because companies used to put time and effort and money into Halloween, and now it's like, just put a TikTok out there with some the wolf inside of you bullshit, and we'll cater to that. But this Jack in the Box commercial, it's a whole story, bro. It's got its ups, its downs, it's got some comedy, it's got genuine spooky vibes. It's like 8 or 10 minutes. It's got production value. It's that good shit, bro.
Honestly, Jack in the Box is one of the few things I miss about not eating meat anymore, because like everything on Jack in the Box just fucking slapped.
You
But
gotta be in a mood, bro.
I don't know, dude. If I still let myself eat meat, like I'd be morbidly obese because I'd be fucking slamming 2 tacos and a fucking Jumbo Jack Jr. every fucking day. Especially now that I can afford the fast food bill, bro, it'd be a fucking problem. Curly fries to wash it down. Oh god, dude.
Curly fries to wash it down.
Oh, dude, the fucking
Not a drink.
the chicken pita, bro. Egg rolls, bro. Everything they have there is like trash, but it's so good.
The chicken pita is pretty good, not gonna lie.
The fucking Midnight Munchies fucking box. Bro,
All
honestly,
right. That's
oh, sorry. I was just gonna keep talking about Jack in the Box for the next 2 hours. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say who else has something.
So I watched. These dudes are apparently famous, like they're well known. Sam and Colby. Have you heard of them, Jake?
No.
Okay. I sent this to Stephanie and I sent it to Brienne as well, and Brienne knew exactly who these people were.
First thing that pops up on YouTube when I type Sam. Oh, I've seen their thumbnail and they just looked really fucking annoying.
So they like going around to spooky places and staying there and recording and trying to get in touch with spirits and whatever. But recently they decided to stay for a full week at the Conjuring house. Why you would do that, I don't fucking know. But they did it.
For the YouTube money, Rob.
And this is coming out in episodes, so I think right now there's 2 episodes out. I've only watched the first one fully. And the first episode isn't scary. If this is faked, it's really well done because it doesn't, like, it's not too exaggerated to the point where you're like, oh, this is obviously faked. And it's not trying too hard to convince you, but it does make a really good argument to prove the existence of the afterlife. And that's if you believe that the video is real and not like faked.
And that's the scariest thing of all, Rob.
Because they do experiments and stuff
The
to
Catholic afterlife.
prove they do experiments to prove the legitimacy of the things that happen. But again, like if this was a movie or a fake thing, then you could obviously fake that as well. But like I said, they're known to do this. So there's a little bit of clout behind it. And then like I said, you'd have to watch it, but they make a good argument for it, and it's just interesting. It feels like a found footage movie that's not boring, and I hear that in the next couple of episodes it gets maybe a little spookier. But yeah, if you just want to see two dudes hanging out at the Conjuring house, I recommend that video.
Put it on the maybe. They both have such punchable fucking faces on the goddamn thumbnail, dude.
Yes, but they definitely, well, they grew on me in that first episode.
Two fuckboys chilling in a haunted house.
Did you watch at least a little bit of it, Stephanie?
Yeah, I did.
Are you vibing with it or not?
I don't know. I mean, to take it or leave it, honestly.
Fair. That's all I got. So Jake, take it away.
Yeah, Napoleon Blown Apart, one of my favorite YouTubers, just dropped a new video, a new 2.5 hour Odyssey, part 3 of his Ultimate Fighter retrospective series. And this man has he just overlaps with so many of my fucking interests that it is a goddamn treat whenever he puts out a video. Like MMA, XCOM, fucking shitty breakcore, fucking Dwarf Fortress. The jokes per minute on this fucking guy are insane for how long his videos are. Like, how this man can just write 2.5 hours of consistently funny fucking bangers while also delivering information in a concise and informative way is just such a goddamn talent.
So, and that's the decline and fall of the Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, I guess it's the third part in his Ultimate Fighter series where he watches all the seasons of the Ultimate Fighter.
What is the Ultimate Fighter?
The Ultimate Fighter was a UFC reality TV show during the reality TV boom. And I guess it saved the fucking company. Because the first season of the Ultimate Fighter just did so hot. So it's basically they get two veteran MMA fighters, and then they put them on they separate the contestants onto two teams. So fucking Tito Ortiz gets half of these goobers, Chuck Liddell gets the other half of these fucking goobers. And then the coaches just try to train them up, and then they basically keep fighting each other and doing fighting related challenges until there's two guys left at the end, and then they fucking have an MMA fight. And whoever wins is offered a UFC contract. So that was the basic premise of the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay, weird way to draft, but all right.
Yeah, but the fucking most people were in it for the fucking drama because it was just a bunch of ripped dudes with anger issues trapped in a house full of booze.
And frat house.
Yeah, some pretty wild shit happens. And I don't know if you know this, but you probably don't want to piss off an MMA fighter. And it's so fucking. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think I had that one in my back pocket.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't piss on their fucking bed while they're brushing their teeth. But I don't know, it's fucking weird because I said, this guy will make a fucking Steel Battalion joke, a fucking Dwarf Fortress joke, and an XCOM joke 10 minutes apart from each other. And I'm like, wow, this man just gets me. Yes, this is a parasocial relationship. How did you know? But also he talks about an MMA fighter from fucking Spokane, which I was unaware fucking existed. And I guess he was on Tough, or the Ultimate Fighter. And he didn't win, but he did get signed anyway. And he apparently ruined the UFC for a very long time. And I think that is
this man.
I kind of wanted to be honest. I was like, does he go into gyms around here? I'll fucking shake his hand. No, but I guess
you're the guy that ruined UFC?
Yeah, so he literally went to Target and bought a pair of basketball shorts and then wore them to the fight that he had that night and never took off the tag. And I guess Dana White was so fucking ashamed that the MMA fighters don't have any provided uniforms that this motherfucker literally just had to go to Target and buy a pair of basketball shorts. That they signed a deal with Reebok so that all MMA fighters had to wear Reebok attire, and I guess it was a fucking nightmare for a while. And like MMA fighters, contrary to popular belief, or maybe not, don't actually make that much money. So like them not being able to like get sponsors for themselves basically fucked up the amount of money a UFC fighter can make. And to be fair, if you're going to be doing gladiator style blood sport, I think you should be making a shit ton of money. I think you should be making football player money, if not more. You're literally trading years off your life for like to provide entertainment.
The Target lore goes crazy, bro.
Yeah. And if you're going to make that deal, you better get paid for it, bro.
Okay, I have a question.
What's up?
Are his other 2 videos also like 2 hours long?
Oh, all of them are like, I don't think he has a single video that's like less than an hour long.
Okay, and then do you have to watch the first 2 Ultimate Fighter videos to get this one?
No, I would recommend you do so. Because like, I'm not going to watch The Ultimate Fighter, but I'll watch a 2-hour synopsis of this man with a soothing Irish voice sum up the first 8 seasons of The Ultimate Fighter.
I might give this a listen. Is this you can just listen to it, or is there visual comedy?
You can listen to it. For the most part, he's just playing like B-roll footage of like The Ultimate Fighter. So like if you just wanted to listen to it, you could do that. But there is some bits of visual comedy.
Probably give that a listen or a watch.
Like, yeah, this is like I'm cooking dinner and need to watch something on the side, or fucking I'm too sore to move and too tired to pay attention to anything type of video. Y'all got anything else, or is it back to me again?
Back to you again. Finish her off.
All right, boys.
Right. Hold on, right, Stephanie? Or do you have something else?
No, I don't have anything.
Take it away.
I listened to the entire first season of Dungeons and Daddies. Not a BDSM podcast.
Is this a bunch of dads playing D&D?
Not even, which makes it funnier to me.
Fuck is this?
I watched a little documentary on Video Game High School, and it was just over the video making process of Video Game High School across its 3 seasons and what it did to the crew, and ultimately where they ended up now.
I love that series. So,
and I guess a couple of the writers, like the director Freddie Wong, and I don't know if Beth May worked on Video Game High School, but whatever. She's there in this podcast now. Like, I guess a lot of those guys went over and they made a D&D podcast, and it is fucking hilarious. And I guess that's what the fuck Freddie Wong, aka Rocket Jump, aka Freddie W, has been up to over these past couple of years. He's been making a fucking D&D podcast, and it is a goddamn banger.
I mean, I've enjoyed pretty much everything else he's made. So.
And so, like, I thought, like Critical Role's good because it's a bunch of like actors playing D&D. But when you get a room full of writers playing D&D, and they don't really understand how the rules work, nor do they really care, it is a good fucking time. Like the premise
is just a podcast.
Yeah,
it's not like recorded, like video.
No.
Okay.
And it's also like very well edited because it's edited by Freddie Wong himself. But the premise is 4 folks are playing 4 dads, and them and their kids get isekai'd to the Forgotten Realms D&D setting, the same setting that Baldur's Gate takes place in. And then they got to go find their fucking kids and then get them back to the fucking real world. And there's like the amount of times I've laughed and cried and felt strong emotions in this podcast. Like Dungeons and Daddy season 1 is like going to be up there for one of my favorite things this year. Like the show was so fucking entertaining, and it's also like digestible as shit. So like, yeah, the first season's like 60 episodes, but also like each episode on average is like an hour and a half, which for a D&D podcast is fucking easily manageable.
Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up.
What's up?
Are you telling me you're recommending something that's 90 hours?
I mean, you can listen to it.
But it's 90 hours.
The first season, yeah.
First season. This motherfucker won't read One Piece.
Robert, I work 8 hours a day. 40 hours a week for 4 weeks per month. The majority of my job, I can just listen to whatever the fuck I want. If there's a One Piece audiobook, I'll go ahead and add it to my cart right now. Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
That's wild.
Plus fucking like 1 to 2 hour commute depending on traffic. Like, yeah, it's not hard to get that much listening time in. Especially if it's something I was enjoying this much. Like it was a pleasure to grind through. And I only started listening to it like this month too.
Damn.
Yeah, so I killed it in a month, bro. It was that good.
How many hours are in a month?
Enough.
See, 24. I guess we'll say 12 because fuck it, you're sleeping for half of that.
Bitch, what? Excuse? You think I sleep?
I know you sleep.
Plus fucking, I had a 3-hour car ride to your fucking place, bro. That's 2 episodes right there. And then a 3-hour car ride back. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
I guess.
Literally, our podcasts are never less than an hour. So
Yeah, so I don't fucking hear it, bro. You
Well,
can
no,
literally
yeah.
listen to 2 to 3 episodes of Dungeons and Daddies before you make it through one of our fucking episodes.
Okay. All I'm saying is we have 8 episodes. You said 60.
I mean, I believe they came out monthly at some point too. I'm just like, the fuck else am I gonna listen to at work?
That's true. It's true. I mean, I'll probably give it a shot, to be honest with you. So,
I mean, as I said, if you liked Video Game High School, it's the crew, it's the writers, and some of the actors.
I was literally sold with everything, and then you're like, oh yeah, and there's 60 episodes, but they average around, and then you said hour and a half, and I was like, I mean, I can easily do it.
Yeah, it's not Critical Role, bro. It's not like 4.5 fucking hours per episode. I mean, it was fun. It was a good time. It was a fun ride. I'm very excited to start getting in on the second season. I'm just gonna let it breathe for a little bit, then hop right in there.
Well, we have done it. We have done another episode, and we didn't even talk about the horrible things happening in the world. So I consider that a win.
Y'all want to start talking about the Middle East?
Nah. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
All right, but yeah, I guess next month's the last episode for end of the year show. So I guess if there's anything you want on your list, you better do it in November.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we're gonna have 9 months or 9 episodes. If we're gonna do a top 10, that doesn't work.
It does if you did 2 pieces of media per slot.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Minimum. So, and if we can't do a top 10, then we'll do top 5. It's fine.
That works. Because I was gonna suggest another thing we could do is if there's anything that you want to talk about, like it could be something that you watched 5 years ago, or something, or like a game that you just really want to talk about. Like you could also do that.
Yeah, none of that shit's fresh in my mind.
All right.
So fuck that.
Well,
Stephanie, what do you think about that idea, bud? Where you at?
that sounds good to me. I guess also too, we still have some time before we get there. So just throwing that out there.
I mean, we got a month. They go by real quick. Because I'm assuming later in the month of December, we're going to want to be fucking doing holiday shit. So we might want to record it earlier in the month.
yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I guess we can play it by ear. But as I said, if there's anything you want on your end of the year list, make sure you do it next month.
Well, we'll see you guys next month. Have a good one.
Happy Halloween, buddy.
See ya.
I didn't say happy Halloween, so I guess I'll say
You fucked it.
happy Halloween.
No, you fucked it. You forgot.
Stephanie, I say happy Halloween.
Spooky holidays. Happy Halloween.